Hail, hail, and welcome to the HomeBhoys Live podcast. I'm, of course, Joe McKenna. It is Thursday, the 15th of May. We are back after, I don't know, must be 3 weeks now. A hiatus. This is getting fucking ridiculous. But at the end of the day, if you're upset, send the fucking receipt in. So, joined by the infamous, a guy texted me. Who he texted me last night about you? John Joe Devlin, out of the blue. I seen J-Bo in Chicago. I was like, yesterday? Today? Where the fuck to see him? I said, he's everywhere. So Jason Higgins is here.
How you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm good. The weather's good. And it's fantastic. I'm sweating buckets here now all of a sudden. And of course, joined by Sean McCardle's Secret Da.
This is a Sean McCardle Stan podcast. The fucking Monaghan fucking Lamal. Here we go.
Sean McCardle, the Monaghan Lamal. That's you know what? The people from Monaghan are going to find that hard to say.
The Monaghan Lamal, hey. The Monaghan Lamal.
And also joined by the greatest man in the Royal Borough. Longers, what's happening?
How are you, Joseph? You good?
Yeah, I'm all good. Glad to be back. I'm actually was trying to trace back what games have been on since we last were on here, and I can't remember. I think it might have been the Huns game. That could have been it. No,
Joe, we can spend all night talking about the greatest ever reserve team in the history of football. Fuck the Huns game.
So, exactly. What's the point in going backwards? So, where do we start? Was anybody actually up at Pataudry at the weekend?
The weekend? It was yesterday.
Yesterday. Sorry, yesterday. Fucking,
No,
that's the kind of 2 weeks I've had. I don't even know
we're
what
off to fucking fly.
time frame it is. I don't know what time frame it is anymore. Fuck's sake. No Scott McCory tonight. I don't know why he's not here. He's just
Because he's a piece of shit.
That's
Correct.
that's definitely part of the problem. So where do we even start? I as normal, we've no list, we've no clue, we've no idea. Are we just going to talk about people like Johnny Kenny getting a goal last night, which I thought was fantastic, and that young lad Sean McCardle? You're right, did look good.
He looked beautiful.
So I have no idea where to start, lad. So I know I start off strong, like, hey, it's Joe here. But see when it comes down to content, that's when I fall off the fucking cliff. That's why
We get back to the game. We get back to the game. There's no point in getting out of the Glasgow derby. That was too long ago.
No, wait. I said we covered that game. I think that's the last podcast we did.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't been on since.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't been on. I think I'm nearly sure it's the last game we actually covered. Because I was there, I was regaling people of my woe on the go-kart track in Cambuslang when a fucking 9-year-old boy made a cunt of me. Right?
Joe, we're talking about the one at fucking Ibrox.
Oh, right, sorry. I thought
This is why we have to go fucking back.
It's been a long couple of weeks.
2 months ago.
Holy fuck me, the fucking night today in the
I
morning.
told you. You know what? Actually, that was 2 months ago. That was in March, for fuck's sake.
I think the last time you were on, your man was fighting Eder, and then Eder's been on a scoring run ever since, I think.
That's the kind of work I should have done before the podcast, right? So the last game was Dundee United.
Right, well, that's done on fucking doesn't.
And then it was the Huns, and then it was Hibs, and then it was Aberdeen. So we've only really missed 3 games. That's all right.
Right. Well, we'll just fucking
we got
do
the
it.
bottom of it. Listen, this is how we do stuff with the HomeBhoys. This is how we have our kind of process.
Hey,
on there.
that's tough. You fucking tell
and
him
you know what?
tough.
And Toff's got the vote that turns everything.
So look, let's fucking just fucking weigh in. Look, we're heading towards the end of the season here. Fucking, there's no sense doing a match by match analysis. We've maintained the standards that we've fucking started, that we've held, towards the end of the season. That we've managed to fucking keep motoring on, even though we've secured the league. We're still breaking records. I heard today we have equalled the Lisbon Lions points total, goals total. We've scored as many goals in this season as we did in 1867, albeit the Lions did it with less games, which fucking God bless them, whatever else. We're still hearing fucking shit about players like Adamida and fucking all that, so I'm sure that'll come up. Yet Adamida has equalled Vanagor of Hesselink's fucking best season and he still seems to be getting grief for some reason, despite scoring in cups, fucking leagues, Champions League games, the whole lot. We're bleeding in young players. Rodgers has probably made fucking a couple of stupid decisions last night, like putting a tate on there and then getting the leg booted off him. You know, we're coasting towards Flag Day at the weekend, and we have a fucking cup final coming up. So things are good. The sun's fucking shining. It's been shining for weeks. Reminds me of like the O'Neill season, sort of, which was the fucking same. I remember being puggled for about 6 months. If I was fucking younger, I'd probably be puggled this year too, as well. But I'm fucking too over it now. And I think we've plenty to talk about. But I suppose we could be starting to look ahead to the transfer window too. What gap should be filling, or whatever else. Players like Johnny Kenny coming through and getting goals. Fuck's sake, man, we're jolly green giants walking the earth here. So we are. Plenty to talk about.
Well said, Marty boy. Well, getting the show back on the road there.
From the most show opening ever to Marty fucking Flynn, taking the wheel and going.
Listen, Toffee, take the wheel. Toffee, take the wheel.
One day, Toffee will fucking have to have a podcast where he talks about us only.
So fucking dip your hand in that big lucky bag and pull something out, and let's go.
So we go back to the Hibs game on Saturday. Let's do that. So I'll go first then. So win 3-1 obviously, and it was kind of like a main strength team. It's arguably Tony Ralston started, so you're talking Alistair Johnson would come in there, and then you've got Trusty, and you'll bring Carter Vickers back in if he's fit. And is Carter Vickers going to be fit for the final?
Yeah.
I think he is.
So you're talking about, apart from that, before last night, you've got Schmeichel back in, so that was him back as well, which was good. You've got Greg Taylor, who I think would play fullback. For Alistair, Anthony Ralston and Trusty, you'll swap them for Alistair Johnson and CCV. And then arguably your midfield, all right, Hatate got injured last night, so I don't know if anyone's getting any updates, but you've got Engels, McGregor, Hatate, then you've got Kuhn, Maeda and Ida. So obviously with injury to Jota, that would be, before we played last night, you'd be saying that would be your cup final starting lineup. But obviously we'll have a discussion when we get to the game for last night if we think that will change. But would we all be in rough agreement before last night?
Yeah,
that to be our cup final lineup.
Yep.
Yeah.
Aye. So I thought. See, to be fair, I thought Hibs started a lot better than us. They went 1-0 up and they had a couple of other chances as well. Good save for Schmeichel, and you're a bit to yourself, is this just going to be one of these end of season games? But then we kind of snapped into gear, and it was like, do you know, it was how many, like 10 minutes or whatever when we get the 3 goals, 13 minutes or whatever, and so I couldn't get to one before half time. Well, Ida, and then Hatate gets a belter, and then the game petered out. And my niece Claudia, she bets the correct score every game, and she's always at the most a goal out, and she bet 3-1. And we're sitting going like that. There's no chance, you know. Can we get the third? There's still half an hour to go, but it ended up 3-1. But I thought it was decent against a good Hibs side. I thought the atmosphere was brilliant, and then we got our first glimpse. Or I don't know if Sean McCardle come on, but I don't know. Has he come on before that?
No.
Was that his debut? So, and I seen a cracking wee bit. Somebody posted it online about Casper Schmeichel at the end of the game. Did you see that?
No, what was that?
No. So see when, and I was standing clapping them as well. But see when the team was going round the park at the end of the game. See when they got to the Green Brigade, they're all kind of walking, and Casper Schmeichel grabbed Sean McCardle and shoved him right towards the Green Brigade, and he walked out in his cell and just gave them a big clap and all that. It was as if they say, "You get out there and it's your day." It was classy. And then obviously you're just gutted because Forrest comes on with like 17 minutes to go or whatever, and doesn't get the goal. We bring Bernardo on, Luke McCown comes on, Johnny Kenny, we were all dying for him to get a goal. He gets 10 minutes and doesn't get the goal. And but it was like, it was a right good kind of end of season game, for want of a better expression, because I think, was it Ange? Ange didn't give a fuck when she'd won the league. He's like, it doesn't matter. But Rodgers he kind of wants to win, and it's good for the fans, because obviously you're turning up to these games, you're paying good money, and you want to see a performance. And I thought it was good. The one thing, don't know what you think of this, the one thing that stood out for me, right, and I don't know if there's anything in it, right, but I thought Kuhn played brilliant, but he looked as if his face was tripping him the full game. See, when he scored, did you notice he wasn't even smiling or anything?
You know what? I did speak about his character before, and I got some abrasive responses. I think the guy might just be a wee bit of a dick.
I thought he played great, to be honest with you, and it's probably the best he's played since we brought Jota back. I don't know, played really good. And he looked, when he came on as a sub last night, he looked well interested, right up for it. So, I don't know. So,
listen, City plays well. He can tell me to fuck off every week. I don't care.
Oh, I know. But, so that's my brief summarisation of the game. I thought it was really good, and beat a good Hibs team. And obviously, when they went to goal up, they probably were expecting to beat us. But, it was really good.
I think you're right about the Rodgers thing. It's like, his message is go out there and entertain and enjoy it.
Entertain.
I don't think he suffers the end of season when the league's tied up. You can just relax, and obviously you get a cup final to play for as well. So there's that added thing for players who don't want to drop their guard, etc. But I was well impressed. Didn't really see much of McCardle. He didn't stand out to me, and I thought it was tidy enough. Nothing great, but I thought last night when he came on, it was fucking sensational. But so that's, where does he come from, by the way? You said Monaghan. He's Scottish, isn't he?
No. The McCardle name comes from Monaghan.
Right.
So I was just making a fucking joke about that. The Ardle O'Hanlon moved from Fartair. So Ardle and O'Hanlon, his two names would be the two biggest, some of the most recognisable surnames in Monaghan. Ardle, McCardles and O'Hanlon's. Redmond O'Hanlon. Anyway, fuck, that was a poor joke, sorry.
All right, sorry. Where does he come from? Tim, do you know?
From here.
Nope.
Is he from here? All right, Ayrshire. Right.
Yes, he's big jocks, pal. You
sent that thing in, didn't you? Right. Got you. Aye. I didn't know he was fake. Right, okay. I got it, mate. Perfect.
Somebody texted out of the group, said somebody knows his family.
That was me yesterday. Yeah, Jock's cousin was best pals with his dad.
Right.
Okay. That makes sense.
Brilliant. Excellent. So, good day at the office, and thoroughly enjoyable. So, what did you think? What did you guys think?
Well, I'm of the opinion that the sunshine makes everything better, even if it's shite. I mean, and that wasn't shit. It was good. I mean, it was entertaining. It was athletic. It was competitive. I mean, and again, Hibs came to play, and I like that about Hibs, that they do come to Celtic Park to play. I mean, and they give it a go, and they got their goal. That's great. But I mean, see this James Forrest thing. I think we've all got blue balls now for the James Forrest goal. I mean, we're all just fucking going, on the fuck.
The crowd will end up sucking it in. Everybody suck.
If there's a penalty on Saturday, he doesn't get.
See, to be honest with you, I'd have been letting them see the free kicks at the edge of the box and everything. I'd be letting them hit everything. Just everything. But I thought it was brilliant last night. We'll get there, but
it was brilliant last night.
Outstanding. But what a servant he's been for us. Unbelievable. But anything else for the weekend?
What amazes me is, see Adam Hayda. Adam Hayda is the guy, or Ida, I fucking say it sometimes. He's the kind of guy, I think his physical, his football ability responds to WhatsApp text going, this cunt shite. Because as soon as they start getting the barge text going, get this guy out the building, he fucking scores.
It's a funny one, Joe, because I don't think he had a very good game Saturday against him. Certainly the first half, I thought he was pretty poor when you look at the kind of chances he got and the kind of way he gets himself in and positions his body and kind of his shots. Were, the first one he did take himself a bit wide and it was on his left foot. It's a bit difficult, but couple of other chances he had. I don't think he did himself much credit in terms of how he finished. But what I like about him, he just perseveres. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't seem to be put off too much by the misses, and that's the way you need to be as a striker. Don't you? You just need to keep going on and working away. So I didn't think he'd been that brilliant, but good to see that he carries on and gets his goal. And I was interested in that podcast when your man was on, kind of slating him a little bit, and obviously Jason and Scott were sticking up for him, and rightly on his record. And was that 20 goal, his 20th goal of the season, I think last night.
Right.
Yeah. You take that all day long, but
and how many games has he started?
That's a thing. Aye.
You know,
He for most of the season, he's been our third choice fucking striker. Kyogo, Maeda, and him.
right?
yeah, I was listening to that and thinking, like, you see when we won the league against Kilmarnock last season, he was absolutely unplayable in that game.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of his physicality, his pace, his fit, everything about him was just like a perfect number 9. And I don't know if that's just that's a one-off for him, or he's capable of doing that more often. That's the bit I'm not sure about. I hope it's still developing. He's still pretty young, isn't he, as a player? So
22 or something.
22 or
Yeah,
23
yeah,
or something. Fuck's he's only a kid.
See
Definitely
what you said there, Liam, right? That boils my piss, but loads of folks say it, right? And it's like, somebody's done something and folk are like, is he really capable of doing it? Well, he done it. He is capable of doing it. Regular.
What I said was, is that like a one-off for him, or can he play at that level all the time? That's what I'm trying to say. So, and I'd like to think it's that one. When he develops and stays with us a bit longer, he can play a lot more games like that.
Aye.
That's the point I was trying to make. Because he was like, he was unplayable that day against Kilmarnock. I'm not saying
I think
as good as that.
The way Celtic set up that day as well. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of set up my way, suiting that park, etc. And just playing kind of, I don't think we played like a normal game. We kind of set up a bit differently. And I don't know, maybe the way Celtic play, maybe Disney suit them like as much as other ways maybe would suit them better. I don't know.
No, it's a really good point, Jason, because thinking back to that game, I think we did get the ball forward much quicker.
Aye.
Quicker, which we don't always do, or don't rarely do, to be fair.
Yeah. Aye, we played more a direct game that night. We just absolutely battered them, and it was just like, and that probably suits him because obviously he's in the box all the time. But
that's a fair point. That's a good point.
But the way Celtic do play, he's still producing the goods. And see, at the end of the day, I mean, what Scott's mate was talking about, you're like, fucking hell. Last season, he fucking won as a league and won as a cup. You know what I mean? There's an argument there. If we didn't get him in loan last season, we might not have won the league, might not have won the cup.
Do you not think people just need a fucking somebody to go about, somebody to fucking moan about?
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? He fucking scores goals and he's quick. He's very
and he's strong.
He's a big lad, big article, right? And yes, whatever fucking metrics that you want to measure him by, apart from that, anybody can measure any player along those lines. I've been critical of players all fucking through my life and whatever else, but he's young. He's already made a massive impact. Like 20 goals in any fucking season is fabulous. Do you know what I mean? And there's supposedly better players or better strikers maybe that haven't got fucking 20 goals in a season. You know what I mean? So it's like he has all the attributes to be a top class player. He has certainly all the attributes to be a top class player at Celtic. You know, and he just needs to be given that bit of time to fucking cement his place, and it's unlikely he will because, well, Rogers has already said I know we're kind of jumping ahead a wee bit here, but Rogers has already said that he's going to buy another striker in the summer. You know, so again, him getting his chance to get into the team, to get goals, to get game time under his belt, and he's carrying the £9 million price tag, and that's the issue. That is the problem. Like, people are looking and going, he's fucking worth 9 million. He's spent 9 million quid in this fucker. You know, so what are they expecting? 40 goals in a season from a guy who hasn't hardly started, who's been third choice striker? What the fuck, like? Do you know what I mean? He has. I think he's been a very, very good acquisition for us, even if only to keep other players in the team on their toes. And when he's
Yeah.
got a chance, he's come on and scored. He's already scored against the Huns. He's already scored in the Champions League. He scored against in cup finals and big games. You know, what more does the fella really have to do? And I'm not having to go to you whatsoever, Liam, here. Any player can have a bad half or a bad day, or, you know,
Yeah.
any player could. So why is, I suppose the question I'm asking or imposing or musing on is, why does Adamita seem to be being held to a separate standard? What's the reason? Is it just the price tag that we paid £9 million for him? Because I think he's signed a 5-year deal. So if he scores fucking 20 goals over each of the 5 seasons, he'd be 100 goals for Celtic. Like, that's a return that you would certainly pay for. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. I suppose it's a bit like the goalkeeper, isn't it, Marty? You know, if you're top end of the pitch or bottom end of the pitch, you kind of, you stick out probably more than most people. So if you chuck one in or you miss a few chances, you're gonna probably be more up for getting a bit of stick, I imagine.
yeah, possibly. But I also think too, this has been a real class season for us, and I actually think we're stuck for stuff to fucking moan about. Frankly, you know what I mean?
Well,
I think
think
we're
about leaders
constantly
as
looking
well.
for things to fucking moan and groan.
You think about Kuhn and Mieda either side of him, they've got 50 goals between them, I think, this season.
It's incredible, it really is. And like, look at James Forrest. You know, picking on another, and I'm picking on him for the reason being he's been out for much of the season too. Look at the fucking contributions he's made here his last few weeks since he's got back fit and he's back in the team. Last night he was unplayable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I really think we're spoiled this year. We've been outstanding. We had a brilliant Champions League campaign. A wee bit of a wobble against the Huns, fair enough. A bit of a wobble in, in the time we come out of the Champions League. We still had their fucking league wrapped up in jig time. We're having party days at Ibrox again. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think people just need something to cry about, and we've broken down the transfer stuff. Pardon me, last season, and we were saying about what X amount of money buys you nowadays. You know what I mean? The game has changed, and yes, you can ferret out some outstanding players for small amounts of money, you know, in certain times, but those days are kind of gone. You know, because every player is so heavily scouted now. All leagues are so heavily scouted. You know, we're not going to get away with buying 3 players from Japan again for £2 million between them. Do you know what I mean? So if you're looking for something a wee bit different and you need an additional bit of physicality in your squad or whatever it is, the chances are you're more than likely going to have to pay for it because those players are at a premium. You know, they
Well,
really are. And
see the point you made, Marty. See the price tag. I think that had everything to do with it. See if we'd have got either for £1 million, folk would have been fucking delighted with. But
yeah,
see the fact it's
100%.
9 million and all these fucking balloons. You think the money comes out of their pocket? Celtic's still putting the season tickets up this year, regardless of how much money they spend. They're sitting with mountains of money in the bank, and the going rate for young fucking talent, you know, coming from England especially. And this is a guy that already proven what he could do. At the end of the day, fair play to Norwich. You know, they're looking after themselves. They're loaded. Fucking hang out for 9 million. And obviously Brendan Rodgers wanted them and knew it was the lowest risk gamble we could get in a centre forward because you knew exactly what he could do. And
And
we just have to pay it.
I would totally look over it, Jason. See if we paid that fucking dough out and Adam either was a disaster. Then, you know, like, it can happen to players. It happen.
Aye.
I actually think a good comparison is Chris Sutton. Right? Chris Sutton was top player of the year, whatever it was, or top scorer in the Premier League one year in England. Got a move that was a complete fucking disaster for him, and we benefited from it. But even when we saying something, there was people who didn't, you know, who were saying exactly the fucking same thing about Chris Sutton as they're now saying about Adam Ida. He's wasting money, blah blah, you know, and he fucking made a man used to call him shade in the stick. Here comes fucking shade in the stick. He wasn't saying that at the end of his first season. Do you know what I mean? So there's a bit of that, I think, too, where people are saying, why do we pay all this dough? What sort of a striker that we're getting? Well, we're actually getting a striker who's a bit like Chris Sutton. That's the way he plays.
But do you know what, Marty? You know, Scott. I think Scott made the point on that last show, right, about the games, the amount of games these guys have played, and he talked about Engels, and we'll come back to that in a minute as well because I heard some of it this week that I'd forgotten about that I want to talk about as well. But Chris Sutton had won the Premiership when we bought him. He'd played for Norwich for about 3 or 4 seasons. He probably had 200 first team games in the top tier of English football under his belt. Do you know what I mean? Hartson the same, Lennon the same. And you know, we're buying young, raw-ish players now for that sort of money. It's a completely different ball game, isn't it?
100%. What would Chris Sutton cost now? Like
The
seriously,
thing is,
what the fuck would you pay for
we
him?
landed right lucky with him because he absolutely flopped at Chelsea.
He scored
He scored one goal in the season.
Aye.
100%, Jason.
Because he could have done anything. See if he'd went to the right club. See when he'd left Blackburn. See if he'd went to like a Man United at the time or whatever. You know, he'd never have been near Scotland. You know, because he was top class.
Very, very fortunate.
It's funny you said this because the one goal he scored for Chelsea was against Man United in a 7-1 win at Stamford Bridge. Aye.
Good knowledge, Joe boy. Good knowledge.
Oh, Joe.
There you go.
So do you know what I mean? There's like if you look at Sutton's first season, him and Larson clicked, but the amount of time the two of them actually played together was fairly slim because Sutton was injured for much of the season. Plus, he kept getting fucking sent off and suspended. Then Larson got a bad injury towards the end of the season too. And if we all remember Tommy Johnson, fucking leading the lane for 2 months. You know, so it was only really after that you started to see Sutton when he bedded into the team. That next season, he was fucking frightening. You know, he was just.
I've always said that's how I kind of didn't like Hartson because he split up that partnership. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And Hartson scored 100 goals for us.
No, but you do remember, like Hartson had what 10, 11 games he didn't score when he first started.
His first.
There was a lot of pressure.
Yeah, his first goal was against Dundee United, and like.
But he's gone maybe 12 games without scoring.
No, it was in October. It was like Halloween time before he scored. It was against Dundee
because people were going, "Who is this fat cunt?"
Because mind we were playing Sutton in the midfield, then we're playing him in central defence, and just Martin O'Neill would just shoehorn him into the team, you know, because obviously Hartson would be playing up front with Larson.
He played him at Ibrox, Jason, at centre half, and he was man of the match. Remember?
Aye, he won man of the match, midfield, defence, and attack.
Yeah. Shearer's best ever partner and Larson's best ever partner. That's a decent.
Fucking hell.
See, once he scored that first goal, he was off to the races.
So
he was my favourite player out of the full Martin O'Neill era. Definitely.
But people made poo out of laugh at me going, what are you fucking comparing him to Chris Sutton for? He's no Chris Sutton. He wasn't the top scorer in the English Premier League. And I'm going, I know, but the fucking world has changed. The football world isn't that, you know, getting Chris Sutton for fucking £6 million is, you know, if it was today, he'd be on £60 million fucking pound. It wouldn't be six, despite the fact he had a fucking bad season at Chelsea. It's just so getting a guy at 9 million like Aramita may end up paying huge dividends down the lane for us here, but everybody just seems to rush to fucking. Don't want to rush to write him off. And here's fucking bit of humble pie for me. Fucking Yang, who I was about to write off. Look at fucking Yang.
The youngster.
Youngers.
Fucking Yangers. What a fucking man. Jesus Christ of Almighty. Who would have ever thought?
Brave as a lion. Brave as a lion.
Would fucking restore your fucking position in the pantheon of Celtic heroes.
Just a wee dip. A wee dip.
You know what I mean? Fucking getting it wet and away he went, you know? So it's like... I definitely think we rush, and I've been guilty of it too. We rush the right players off. Trusty's the latest one. We paid $6 million for fucking Trusty, and I'm reading on the huddle board today, cunts want rid of him and whatever else, and you're going, we'll never learn. You know what I mean? He's another one who's been chopped and changed, and so is our defence. Been chopped and changed all year. We've got Scales in, we've had fucking Carter Vickers in. There's Rocky last night fucking playing a blinder. Do you know what I mean? And Trusty's now the whipping boy, and you're going, this guy has all the attributes to be a top class footballer. Let's fucking see if he can be a top class footballer here. Chill out. He's an American international. He's a physical presence. He seems to be fucking prone to the odd brain fart and stuff like that. If we can learn that out of his game, you know, let's see. He could fucking leave a 20-25 million pound player if he has one good season. You know, so it's like everything's kind of rosy in the garden, and I think everybody's just looking for something to fucking have a go at or have a moan about, which is fair enough. And that, you know, that's the world goes round on debate and whatever else. But I really don't think. I think the squad's in a far better position at the minute than it has been for a long time, and we've got fucking players like Kieran Tierney coming in. Holy fuck!
Yeah. I was going to bring that up. So, like, I mean, I'm really eager to see what Brendan Rodgers does because he's an animal of the game. I mean, he's looking at that going, we've got money. I know what I can buy. I know where I can buy. He understands the landscape. I think
What he likes to do,
I'm really excited to see what happens.
but what he likes to do too, Joe, is push, right? So you've Aaron Angles and you've got Ida last year and Trusty, and he's going, we might need to pay a little bit more for these guys, despite the fact they're not the finished article. None of them are. None of the three of them are that I've just
Yeah.
mentioned. And Yang isn't either. You know, and Rogers didn't fucking say Yang, it was Ange, you know, but he's looking and going, if we need to pay that little bit extra for a little bit more um potential, then we'll have to do it because it's where we are. And like he was going on it yesterday about the player trading model. He said it himself at the at the press conference. And if you've got a decent player trading model where you're recouping money back, then it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter because you're covering the fucking cost of the players who came before you by selling the next guy.
Yeah.
You know, like we did it there with fucking Kyogo and fucking Kyogo and Jada. Like it's a fucking perfect example. You know, you came out of it completely clean because
Well,
you sold the
here,
player who wanted to go and you got a guy that you wanted back for less money. Fucking
here's a
hell.
question. Here's a question then, Marty, based on what you just said. All right. Going forward, right? Obviously, Rodgers isn't going to be here forever, right? Going forward, it's going to take a guy or a manager that can understand that way of working and that landscape and that process of an understanding of here's what you can and cannot do. Here's the level. Here's the ceiling. Here's the floor. Right? Is that going to be difficult to find after Rodgers? Rodgers is a guy that's come in with all of the
Well,
knowledge, all of the
we
skills, all the experience, but
Joe,
understands that like
we
here's
we
where we sit.
we simply don't fucking know. Right? So there's no sense worrying about it. And here's the thing. You have all these clubs getting talked over by these fucking Excel spreadsheet dickheads, right? You know what I mean? The Excel
Right.
spreadsheet this week was pulled out for the Hearts job, and they ended up fucking getting the Kilmarnock manager. Like, like, do you know what I mean? What Excel spreadsheet was Derek McInnes on from Southampton or wherever the fuck these American wankers came from? Do you know what I mean? It's like there's people in the game who know the game, and when you bring it's like Brendan Rodgers or like Ange Postecoglou before them, you bring them in, you bring their knowledge, and you bring your contacts with you. That's why I always sort of labour on the point. Our managers need to be the type of managers the players want to follow to Scotland, because we're always playing the Scottish premium for good players who don't fucking want to come here. So you end up overpaying to get the talent you want. And that didn't work. It was a complete fucking failure over the last decade. And if you go through Wikipedia and look at our squad lists over the last 10 years, it's there to fucking see. So the attitude now has changed to be you buy high impact, big, well paid players, and you supplement them with younger players who are coming through, players from your academy. And that's not an exact science either, because bigger players or bigger teams come in and take players off us when they're kids. So that's fine. But the reverse is true as well, because you've got the likes of Jota coming back, you've got the likes of Tierney coming back because they were treated well or they had a good experience when they were here. Tierney's a bit of a different matter, obviously, because he was a fan growing up. But Jota's a perfect example of a player who may want to come back because he had a good football experience at Celtic. And also, too, it's a salutary lesson for other players who maybe want to leave. And Jota's going, you should fucking stay because this isn't too bad. Do you know what I mean? So, the short answer is, Joe, we don't fucking know. But when I'm looking for a manager, anytime we lose a manager, that's what I'm always looking for. It's like, what added value does he bring? What networks does he have? What players does he play with in the past? Like when Rogers came in, the first thing he brought Scotty Sinclair with him because he knew. You know, what a fucking impact that guy made
I
when he
know,
was
but
in
the reason I'm
when he was
asking Marty,
Celtic.
right, is the way I kind of see it is that like we've done well to operate within the market kind of globally in a certain respect, right? But obviously that market will changes consistently, right? And all the time. So between now and the next 5 to 6 years, that market and that financial bracket will be very different to what it is now.
No, it is,
And
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 it's all that.
Celtic have always, and for
Yeah.
quite a long time now, have operated in the bracket, kind of at the same level, no matter where the market went, Right?
No, and it's you're right. You're 100% right, and it's bad enough at the minute. You know what I mean? Fucking look around you. Look at and you'll see the sort of deals that are being done in England over the summertime and financial fair play and all that shit. So that's where loan deals come in. That's why loan deals are important because you're not outlaying. You know, say Adam Eda was fucking shit and he was unknown. You just let him go. So Jeremy Schlupp is in that position at the minute where to me he has.
Look, dog.
Do you know what I mean? To me, he is kind of shown enough where you'd fancy keeping him. But other fans will just go, nice and shit, get him back. Fuck him out.
When it comes to transfers, there's two things, isn't there, for us? There is, we need to show people that you can come, be successful, win some trophies, which is obvious enough. We've dominated for long enough now, and show that you can go and play at the top level in Europe, but not get horsed all the time, which we've done before. But this season's been quite a transformation for us. So players will be looking in, seeing that we're doing well in the Champions League and being successful, and you get your big money move. People don't stand in your way, do you know what I mean? So I think we've got all them attributes right, really, just now.
I agree totally.
Pick up those sorts of players that are in that bucket of a Jota or a Carter Vickers or an Engels or whatever else that.
And that sounds mad, but see things like the Adidas deal and all that shit. All that all helps. Do you know what I mean? So if Rodgers is trying to sell the club to a player, he's going, look what we did in the Champions League last year. We were a ball her away from actually making a major impact. We were able to hold our own, no problem. We've got players. We're going to keep this basic squad together. We might lose a player or two, but we're hoping to add to what we have.
Yeah.
And like, it's a vote of confidence from our sponsors. It's a vote of confidence from our kit maker. It's a vote of confidence from fucking ABC that they can all see my vision and where I'm going, and I want you to be part of it. You know what I mean? It's a fucking queer sale when you.
See when you look at Engels as well, he's a record signing and he's coming for a bit of stick. But see up at Tannadice when we won the league, he was jumping around like a fucking lunatic, man.
Yeah.
That was a big deal for him getting his first.
100%.
We're the worst to down-cry Scottish football. But these guys, if you come from Belgium, you come from Switzerland, you come from any of the Scandinavian countries. See, unless you come from one of the big five, Scotland's a great league.
Yeah.
It's us that downplay it. I get that we're on the borders with England, so they're always a land of milk and honey there. But
that's kind of a cultural systemic thing, Jason. Because see, when I think back to when I was a kid, right? What was some of the last scores that ever get read out in the fucking BBC?
Your scores.
The fucking Scottish scores, right? You get to the fucking Vauxhall Conference, and you still wouldn't get the Scottish scores, for fuck's sake. So like that's something that's kind of through the kind of football lineage has kind of always been like Scottish football's kind of the ginger stat cousin, the fucking English football.
But I don't think Andy Engels was aware of that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know, but that's it. But I know, but I know why. But fucking like the landscape's very different now. It's kind of like I suppose it's free market capital in some sort of way. Like your brand is your brand, and how good it is how good it is, and it's up to you to make it the best you can make it.
You're right, and you can market it. It doesn't matter where you play, as long as you've got a good marketing team that fucking sells your brand. You can sell a massive. Come and play for us. We're amazing, and show fucking all kinds of fucking positives. But if somebody turns up and goes, "This is a fucking shithole," it's not going to fucking change. But like people who get sold Celtic come to see Celtic, and I think what guys like Arne Engels get there and they realize, oh fuck, this is a way bigger thing than I thought it was.
Yeah, I don't think this season coming we need to be in a big panic about buying players either. Do you know what I mean? I think we've got unless we lose 3 or 4 of our main players, which I don't think will happen, then we've got a solid team and squad there. You just want to be picking the right 2 or 3 or 4 players, and we've got one playoff qualifier, hopefully a seeded team. Still to be seen. So I don't think we're in a big panic this summer, in my opinion, about who we need to buy.
I'm telling you, you're right. See, after watching that last night, I'm always like, fucking, I think the best thing ever with Celtic.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like that at the end of the game. We don't need to buy any cunt. We've got all we need there. We've got the makings of Athletic Bilbao model. We've got a mine there. There's a conveyor belt just fucking.
We've completed it. We've completed football, folks. We've completed football.
Aye.
It's a fair point, though. Isn't it? I mean, I was going to mention that earlier on. So you look at Navrocki, right? He played really well last night. He's played well in his few games, but we paid £5 million for him. He's a young player. He's physical. He can pass the ball. He takes it forward. I mean, there's obviously something going on that he's not getting the game.
I reckon he fucking farts in Brendan Rodgers' face training or something like that. He's got to be doing something because every time he plays, he's outstanding.
He's Polish. Yeah. Maybe he's on the far water too often. I don't know.
Aye, maybe he's got that Boris gene in him.
But you got to worry about what Yang. Will we keep Yang? Kenny? Kenny Rodgers is blowing his pricing and his praises. Sorry about his finishing and his game, but what we're going to do with him next season?
I know, but here's the thing, right? And I know we're talking about the Champions League, and you definitely want quality in, right? If the right guy comes, but would you be disappointed having Eden Kenny fighting for like the top spot?
Do you know what? After last night, no.
And I mean, it's a small sample size, right? But the kid's definitely got something. He definitely looks like a goal scorer. He makes all the right runs. I mean, a couple of times in the first half last night, his first touch was a wee bit off, sort of hanging. He didn't set it up right. But he was right unlucky in the first half with that glancing header at a near post, and then he scores an absolute belter in the second half. But like, these guys need to get a chance, and right, if the top quality comes up, then we get it. But I wouldn't just be throwing fucking 7-8 million away for the sake of spending it and appeasing folk when you've got guys like him that are tied on to long-term deals.
I think for Kenny, he needs, you need to see Kenny play 20 league games for us, wouldn't you? And see what he's capable of. He does obviously scored at that level, but I mean, would you want him leading the line for all the games? Who knows? Maybe he'd be good enough. Kyogo was exceptional with his movement, but didn't score lots of goals at that level. Aida's just a fucking freak, and he's the boy that could play all them games for us. But I wouldn't want to be letting them go. Certainly, Kenny, I'd like to see him get a decent opportunity.
Do you know he's another? Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
Oh, you go, mate.
No, all I was going to say is that we're arguing here about top strikers as well. Where you are in the pecking order and that sort of stuff. But also too, Johnny Kenny is a fucking whippet. An absolute whippet.
That's the thing, Marty. His speed is underrated.
Yep, you could play him on the wing. We play three up front, so there should be, opportunities to give him game time. Not necessarily as a fucking striker. Do you know what I mean? He's a fucking flying machine. Really is. So
yeah, I mean,
he's proved he can. Well, he's proved he can make runs in the box and finish with his head for a start, right? I mean, yes, he's had other opportunities, but I mean they've been fucking slim. But I mean, again, like you say, Jason, there's something really exciting there.
Joe, what you could do is keep him till the end of August, see how he does in pre-season, everything, and then worst case, even try and get him to Hibs or Aberdeen or someone for 6 months. You know what I mean? And get him that game time like we've done with Christie and Aya and other players like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to go back to Ireland if that's, we've loaned him a few times, but to get him in our league if he's not ready for the first team, get him in our league and see what he's capable of there. He did brilliant for Christie and Aya, two of them.
Here, listen, it'd be some kicking the balls though to go back to fucking the Irish league.
No,
not just going for Celtic. You know what I mean,
that's not happening. And it's, I don't know, Liam. I'd like to give him a chance.
That's what I'm saying. If you keep him to the end of August, Jason, you might, between the friendlies and the league games in Europe, there's probably 10 games there.
There's absolutely fucking no chance he's going back to the League of Ireland. Zero.
No, I'd agree.
None. And I actually do doubt. It's a wee bit like Sinisalo, it's what Roger said. Like we needed a wee look at this fucking guy, and we ended up getting him. So we're happy with what we've seen. He's staying. I genuinely think that's going to be the same with Johnny Kenny. He was brought back at Christmas time. They could have very easily said the Shamrock Rovers, because their pre-season starts in like end of January, February. Do you know what I mean? They play summer football. So they could have really easily said, "Well, we should hang on until the summertime." He was brought back when Kyogo left. I definitely think that Rodgers and his team think enough of him now that they're thinking, "Yep, let's keep him in the squad," sort of thing. And I mean, he only had a wee cameo. Was it Ross County in January or something like that? And then he was away again. But this wee spell here has shown that he he definitely has what it takes, you know. And like any other player, he just needs time, you know. I'm actually really excited about him. And he's young too. Do you know what I mean? He's a good find, and you know, you saw. I don't know whether or not you noticed the match last night. If you saw it on the highlights after Johnny Kenny scored, Adam Ida and Liam Scales were fucking going mad on in the dugout. Did you
Brilliant.
notice?
Brilliant.
No, I didn't
No.
see it. No.
It was like an Irish moment, you know. One of ours has fucking scored. They were hugging each other and they were giving it the whole lot, you know. So it's great to have a bit of goodwill about a player, you know, somebody who's coming and everybody wants to see do well, sort of thing, you know. And Millish was talking about him on his podcast during the week, and I was listening to him, and Millish was saying he did his best work as a reactive forward, you know, as a sort of a he's playing on the counter attack, I suppose, in Europe. But my argument is, I know, but it's his pace. You can't fucking buy pace. You can't if you're a slow
It's
player.
inherent. It's inherent. It's not like it's
Like
one.
I
It's
will
just
never have pace. Do you know what I mean?
oh fuck no.
But I might be able to fucking strike a ball. Do
I'm
you know
more
what I mean? If I
healing
hit.
pace. Than me.
Do you know what I mean? It's like if a guy's fast, it's like Maida. Like you cannot teach how to run so fucking fast. You have to have good genes and whatever else. So if you can marry that kind of speed with some sort of level of football intelligence, you have a fucking chance. And that might
Mm.
not be as a striker, as I say, that might be as a winger, coaching someone up on how to cross a ball, good decision making in your time, and you can work on all of those things. But you're ahead of the game already if the fucking dickhead who's been put on you to mark you is eating your dust.
Hey,
Do you
Marty,
know
I
what I mean?
think Jeffrey DuPont would disagree with your theory there. Do you remember
And
him?
Dupont.
DuPont?
Yeah, and like it was the stuff that he was doing was very off the wall. Do you know what I mean? It was really interesting. Like it was tan car tires, the players and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. McGeady
You know,
definitely picked up his
with it,
pace at that time.
without without a shadow of a fucking doubt, like that's true.
Yeah.
But to have just raw pure pace as a
Oh
player
yeah.
is
Oh yeah.
such a gift. Do you know what I mean? You can immediately play on that, or you know, that might hide some aspects of your game that that aren't so good. And I've said that about Maida, and it was shown again against Rangers. Is sometimes his decision making is just a bit fucking sus. You know, where he should have scored at the Kenny instead of trying to drag it around a keeper at the time. And I'm not crucifying him for it, but it's just a bit of a it's just I suppose a good example of that. And Johnny Kenny's already making good decisions. He has been playing at a really decent level. There's a bit of snobbishness, I think, about the Irish League,
Yeah.
the League of Ireland, the League of Ireland as well. That it's a shite league. Harbour will be on here to tell you that it's fucking not. I mean, I watch it most weeks. The
He follows
standards.
every team.
I know.
Well, he's been through the lot of them, hasn't he? So
Fuck hell.
he knows his stuff.
He did a whole eeny, meeny, meeny, mo when they fucking the league table.
Fuck's sake, he's been around more fucking teams than Bonnie Blue.
He's ball deep in Everton this week as well.
Fuck
Now,
off,
that game, the clearing taps a belter, isn't it?
Yeah,
11.99. Here we fucking.
I actually bought it, Jason. The
Did you? It's
Everton
a
one.
cracker.
No, here it was like £9. So fucking hear me out, fuck for £9, bank.
Aye.
But what I was saying was about the League of Ireland is actually a real decent standard. And if you look back, Sligo Rovers knocked Motherwell out of Europe years ago. Derry City knocked fucking Grattan out of Europe, who were spending millions at that time.
Hey, that wasn't
You know what I mean?
years ago, man. That was only a couple of years ago. Sligo beat Motherwell.
No. The Grattan one was going back a bit. Derry City.
No, but the Motherwell one was only a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
No, I know it was. Yeah, it was only just there. So, but the point being is like Scottish football fans look down on the League of Ireland. Well, really, they fucking shouldn't, because I would fancy any League of Ireland team to beat any Scottish team beyond us and the Huns. And I would see the likes of Shamrock Rovers and fucking teams like that. They would give the Huns a game. There's no doubt about it.
To be honest with you, right, I would disagree with you later on in the season. But see, with the summer football, see the European qualifiers, I would agree with you there. See, like the top teams in the League of Ireland, because they have to through their season.
But Shamrock Rovers showed it this year, Jason. They went deep into Europe. They were in the
they done brilliant,
and were flying. Do you know what I mean? And but that's my point. Is the broader point is, without getting into the weeds about it, is that it's a real decent standard of football, and it has improved immeasurably. It's gone through a bit of a purple patch at the minute as well. There's loads of ex-English players coming back and playing in Ireland, maybe who didn't make it at their clubs and just want to come home. So the standard's really good. And like you look at there's Seamus fucking Coleman was playing at Sligo Rovers. We had him on fucking trial, let him go. Look what he's done for
Mm-hmm.
Everton. He's had a 15-year career on Merseyside, at the absolute pinnacle of football, playing in the Irish team as well, and all sorts of, I don't know how many caps he's got. Must be close to 100 caps or thereabouts. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of, like, what's the word I'm trying to think? Not insulting, but there's sort of a shrug of the shoulders. So he's only playing in
It's not
fucking
really.
Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the likes of Liam Boyce. Liam Boyce was over banging him in for Hearts, banging him in for Ross County. He's now playing at Derry City. He's
Right.
older, his legs have gone, but he came from fucking Cliftonville, which is playing part-time football. Do you know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like the League of Ireland is a level above the Irish League. The Northern League. The League of Ireland is a very, very good standard, and it's great to see. Like Liam Scales is another example. Come out of Shamrock Rovers too, and I'm sure I mentioned it here. I was talking to Rory Higgins, who's now the manager of Coleraine, but he was the manager at Derry City at the time. Me and him were chatting away, and I asked him about Liam Scales, and he said, he says, I didn't even have Liam Scales as a top 5 player for Shamrock Rovers. He says he's been a complete revelation. He says, I'm delighted. Rory's a big Celtic fan, and he says, look, I'm totally, totally delighted for him. But he says, but when he was at Shamrock Rovers, I just thought he was another guy. He says, someone looked at Liam Scales and went, you know what? And they were it. And he was full swimming his praise. He played against them, in his own teams, played against Shamrock Rovers, annually. So he saw him in the flesh, whatever else. But he was so complimentary about whoever spotted Liam Scales and went, actually, there's a fucking player here somewhere. He says, because I didn't see it. He says, I didn't have him in the top 5 Shamrock Rovers players. So if that's the type of player who, like Liam Scales was brilliant in the Champions League, fucking brilliant, and he's come out of the League of Ireland. So there's talent there, and we should be mining it. Celtic have always got a head
Yep.
start over loads of those teams.
Talking of left-footed geniuses, you want to see the goal your mouse just scored there?
I just seen it there. Fuck, it was a belter. Top corner. Bink.
That boy, again, speaking of freaks, that boy's a fuck.
You back in the Barca days, Liam? Is this you fucking Barca days?
Here he goes. Easy catch tonight. Easy catch.
Oh, fucking that's a
Yo!
Yeah, while we're talking about La Liga loosely, right? One thing I was going to say is, right, see with Sinisalo proving that he's a keeper, right? And obviously Kasper Schmeichel's back fit, right? So I've got no doubt Schmeichel will play in the cup final. Maybe Saturday Sinisalo will start. I don't know, right? But I think it's a dead given that Kasper Schmeichel's going to play in the final, right? See, looking at the Athletic model, because they've got 2 world-class goalies, right? So see, Agas, I can't know how you say it, Agarazabella, right? Their goalie, the second string to Unai Simon, he plays every cup game and he played every Europa League game. I mean, if they get they're going to get into the Champions League next year because they've got 5 spots. Betis drew, their Athletics drawn them out, but they're above them, but they're 4th and Betis are 5th. Oh no, it's Villarreal are 5th. But the Betis can't catch them. So they're basically guaranteed the Champions League. Well, I think if they get a draw the night at the same minute. So it'd be interesting if Athletic actually play him in the Champions League. I don't think. Surely
you can't do that. Nah, you can't. You'd be going
but they even done it in the Europa League semis, and you're saying to yourself, "Fucking!" But that's they stick to it, and that's how they're keeping 2 world-class goalkeepers happy. But surely Unai Simon wants to play. If they're getting the Champions League and they're dropping him, I mean, he's Spain. He's the number 1 keeper for the Spanish national team.
Can't happen on that.
But they could. That's the type of thing they would do. But my point back anyway, right? Say, for instance, we were in the Europa League, but the Europa League would mean a lot to us, right? It means a lot to them. But they play the second keeper in every cup game. Unai Simon, I mean, he was the goalkeeper when they won La Copa. against Mallorca in Seville like 2 years ago. You know, it wasn't Unai Simon, it was him.
Yeah.
So that's what they do.
But surely if Schmeichel's brought back and he comes back to number one, he only has a year left. Surely next season we have Sinisalo in for the cups and all that.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Do you think Celtic would do that? Do you think maybe at the start of the season they would say you're playing every cup game?
I think they might, yeah, because Schmeichel has to retire some stage. You know what I mean? He has to go. I don't know why not. The other thing is too is like the coaching options. You know what I mean? For goalkeeper coaches, it's so bespoke that you would imagine that a player with Schmeichel's experience would be going straight into the coaching. So Celtic should actually be saying to him, listen, do your coaching passes and stuff here. Do you know what I mean? You're here anyway, so you may as well fucking do it and allow our new keeper to stretch his legs a bit because he's going to be here for the next 10 years, hopefully. You're not. You know, so it's all the way the package you put to them, you know, and say, look,
and that's my point. To keep Sinisalo, you don't know what type of kid he is or whatever, but he's always had a taste now, first team get action, etc. Right? And you need two good keepers. You need a good keeper on your bench, right? But I don't think if Schmeichel has an injury-free season next year, if he's going to play like if you were only giving Sinisalo the odd game, you know, a home game against fucking whether it's Livingston or in Ross County, or whoever wins the playoff. I mean, you think to yourself, surely he's going to get a bit more meaty.
Right, so if we have, so say Schmeichel is number one, we would guarantee Sinisalo the cups. We would be expected to go deep into both cup competitions, both domestic competitions. So you're talking what, 12 ties maybe?
12 games. But here's the thing, right? Do you think Schmeichel would be happy if you're getting into a League Cup final or a Scottish Cup final that he's not playing?
But I think he probably would, Jason, to be honest.
I
think them, look,
the experience keeper, he's done it.
You could do it for the League Cup, I think, definitely. You could say, I mean, I've said this for forever, man. I wouldn't play any first team players in the League Cup, irrespective of who we were playing. So I think you could get away with it for the League Cup, but it's a bit more difficult, I think, for other ones. For us, Joe, I've just had a message. Joe, I don't know if you're still awake or if you're logged in. I've had a message from someone unnamed who said, "Just blank the chat, you woke wankers." So I take it nobody's keeping an eye on the chat room tonight.
Just blank the chat. What?
The chat room. I take it there's some chat in the chat room. I'm not logged in, so I can't see it.
Let me go and research this. Listen, Scott's. This is why Scott's important to the show.
Hello, he's a piece of shit.
Because Scott gives a fuck about other people.
I've just looked at the chat. There's nothing dodgy on it. What are you talking about, man? No, the chat on StreamYard.
Yeah.
Is it because you haven't been referring to the chat or something? Maybe?
I'm assuming so. Yeah, I'm assuming so.
All right. Well, listen. The comments are.
Johnny, come lately. The fucking chat's not for us.
No, the chat is for fucking. The chat is for
the arseholes. It's for arseholes.
For strangers to fight amongst themselves. What the fuck's wrong with you? No.
It's not a Johnny come lately. It's one of the long-standing bands that's texted me. So.
Well, do you know what? He texted you personally.
Reject woke ideologies. Not what the fucking said Abrax. What was that stupid band? Band on them dickheads had. Western fucking Bollocks or something.
Somebody's wrote Woke Boys podcast. That's Butler.
Fucking Butler.
No,
he's awake.
It's fucking Butler wrote it.
He woke up. That's what he fucking means.
What's Longers on about? Longers is fucking dropped off.
Yeah, he's taking a huff. He's way home.
Right. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going for another beer. Let's just pop my fucking head away.
Aye, but see the thing. I would like, my point is, Joe, I'd like Celtic to do that and say to Sinisalo, you've got all the cup games this season. You know, and that'd be some buzz for him, you know, knowing that he's guaranteed the cup games.
He's clearly a very good keeper.
It definitely is.
I mean, like I know sometimes it can be like, yeah, maybe not. We'll see how it goes. He's clearly very astute at what he's doing. His accent fucking fucked my head up. I did not expect to have a big fucking thick English accent with a name like fucking Sinisalo.
I've not heard him talking. Is he got English accent?
Wait. Pierre, you haven't heard this, though? Prepare yourself. He's
Scandinavian, I take it.
I mean, to
to some
But
degree.
they all talk. Wait, you ever heard Jan Moby talk?
No. This is very different. This is very different, isn't it? Like, this guy is clearly.
We got him from Villa, Joe. So I don't know how much time he spent there. He had a bit of a Midlands twang to his accent for me.
It's definitely that.
Scottish Cup semi-finals. How much are you looking forward to that?
No, very much so. Everyone is. I'm not the only one who is. So yeah, everyone's looking forward to it. It'll be great to play at Hampden.
He's from Manchester, isn't he?
That's 100%. Like, I mean, that's him. That's him talking. Like, that's that. I mean, I seen the interview at post match. It's like going, who the fuck's this guy? Strange, but clearly a very, very good keeper. And how old is he?
23.
23. I mean,
23.
Do you know what though? Like, you can always tell sometimes with the keeper, like his attitude seems very good. I mean, his attitude's good
6 years.
on the pitch.
6 years at Villa, Joe. So since 2018.
I know, but it doesn't sound like before that he was fucking heard of Flair to Gurdon. I mean,
He's on loan at Ayr. Didn't realise he played for Ayr for 20 games, 22 games.
he's a mismatch. He's got all kinds of stuff going on in his accent. Is that how fucking weak the Scandinavian accent is? Like you just spend 6 months in a place, and next thing you sound like them. I mean, it seems bizarre. Remember Morton Vikhorst? He had the maddest accent in the world, didn't he?
Oh, aye. Oh, Scandinavians, fucking wherever they play in the UK, they take on that accent. They're totally fucking.
The best one is clearly Gravison, though. And I'd lie.
I don't know. Jan Molby was brilliant. All right, here, lad. My name's Jan Molby, and I come from Denmark.
Fucking mad. Right. Do we go on to Aberdeen yet?
Let's do it.
No, Aberdeen. Sorry, fucking Aberdeen. No, we did have Aberdeen. Aye. Was anybody at Pataudry?
Yes, as I said earlier.
I know.
Not at the weekend or not last night.
I know. Okay, let's not go back to fucking Joe starting the show in a chaotic fucking car crash. So nobody was there. Was Scott there, Marty? Do you know?
No, but we were on the chat. Obviously, you other things going on.
Yeah, somebody was there, Joe. Just none of us.
Okay, fair enough.
There's quite a few there, but we weren't there.
I mean, it was a bit of a masterclass, no? James Forrest was on fire.
Oh, it was absolutely brilliant. And I was listening to the Clyde podcast. I was out walking toffee last night, and it was Hugh Keevan said, I think he gets all his predictions wrong. I don't really listen to that much, but he gave the team out before the guy announced it, and he was only 2 players out. Fair play. He put Alistair Johnson would start, and I can't mind somebody else that didn't start. And he got it bang on. Fair play to him, but I wouldn't get anywhere near picking that team. But it's one of the ones.
I had them all apart from one, Engels. I thought Engels would play instead of McGregor.
Right.
Just because of the same Saturday. I thought
It's mental how Callum McGregor never misses a game.
Do you know what? I was thinking about that the other week going, that's like athletically freakish because, like, I mean, that rarely happens.
Do you know what? See, another thing, right? See, when he does miss games, I reckon if he wasn't playing last night, we wouldn't get anywhere near that performance that we got. And I know it's only taking one player out of 11 of the team, but to me, he was man of the match. I know Forrest was brilliant, but I thought McGregor was absolutely outstanding. He was involved in everything.
Do you know what I love about McGregor as well, though? He's a perfect example of what, a guy who starts at Celtic can go on to do. Like, what's possible? What's believable? I mean, because, there was a time when people questioned, when he first became captain, there was questions like, oh, this guy good. And he's turned into a phenomenal representative for Celtic. And football in general, because in Scottish football, he's just he's just become a bit of a beacon for all that's good about Celtic.
I know.
Fucking, how fucking lucky are we? Like, I mean, when's the last turbulent time you can really remember?
Say that again, Joe.
When's the last
when that fucking
turbulent?
bastard Gerrard was here?
Turbulent time.
Aye.
Well, obviously when the Rats stopped 10 in a row, we were all
4 years ago.
well,
But that was also COVID. That was a fucking wild fucking time for everything.
but we were all over the place there, Joe. The podcast we were doing were lasting 4 hours and all we were doing was moaning and fucking greeting and fucking falling asleep on the fucking podcast.
Fucking Sean Butler wasn't calling us fucking mooking them days.
Okay. Alcoholism was fucking taking.
I just started sharing from another fucking
They were the worst of times.
Somebody agrees with Jason. He's better than Paul McStay. Who's better than Paul McStay? James Forrest?
I don't know.
Or
McGregor?
Callum McGregor.
You do know who PML is, don't you?
No.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You do. He's been on that chat for the start. Look at we started.
The biggest rocket in the market.
From Chapel's finest.
Oh, fuck. Oh, right, okay. Right. What's happening, Paul? That would explain the fucking bar as you fucking texted.
Aye. He's always got a wee diamond in the rough there. He always comes out with a good wee belter every now and then. 90% utter drivel, and then he's got a corker in there.
Even the fucking Unabomber had a point. You know what I mean?
His heart's in the right place anyway. I'll give him that.
The weatherman.
But so when's the last time with the turbulent time? I think we said it, but when you actually go and look at the trophy hall over the past, whatever. And by the way, we obviously didn't say, condolences to the McGinn family. Jack McGinn died, obviously. John McGinn and all that's grandfather, the ex-Celtic chairman. And see, regardless of what a lot of folk think, like he was like a paid chairman. He wasn't one of the families that owned Celtic. Do you know what I mean? I think he worked with the Celtic Pools or something like that and worked his way up. But obviously he was part of the old regime, but he wasn't the issue. He wasn't one of the main shareholders in Celtic. I don't, Marty, you would maybe know that better than me, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't.
What he'd be remembered for was his idea to produce a Celtic View.
Aye. He worked with the Celtic View. That's what it was. It wasn't.
You know what? The Celtic View was a fucking lifeline for me as a kid.
It was the first ever foot club newspaper.
Because you would never see a lot of Celtic stuff in the papers. I mean, when it came to sticker annuals and stuff like that, there, like it was, like, it was fucking, again, it was the fucking ginger step cousin to the fucking Premier or the First Division back then, or Premier League, what it became. So, like, I mean, the Celtic View was fucking great because, like, it used to get brought to me by fucking my uncles and stuff who were going over the games and that there. So, the Celtic View was brilliant for me. It was the first time I got to see a picture of Paul McStay that I'd only really heard about on the fucking radio. You know what I mean?
I think that it's complicated. It's complex. Jack McGinn's a complex character, right? Because we can't ignore the elephant in the room in the sense that he was ball deep with the board right to the very fucking end. Now, at the end, he broke with, was it Michael Kelly? No, not Michael Kelly.
No.
Kevin Kelly. I think him and Kevin Kelly were actually welched on the board, the old board. For those who are too fucking young, which on this podcast is probably nobody, but the old board had like a gang of 5 deal where they all agreed not to sell shares to anybody else apart from each other. And I think McGinn and Kevin Kelly realised at the very, very end, at the last moment, that was a fucking stupid position, and they relented to sold their shares to Fergus McCann. The other members of the board, Michael Kelly and Chris Waite, held out. And that's when Fergus McCann issued that fucking famous statement about they won't get one thin dime out of me. But David Lowe actually went to fucking Fergus McCann and said, no, actually, you're gonna have to pay them. And when Fergus McCann was interviewed 10 years after, he was interviewed by Celtic TV, and he said that their behaviour was reprehensible and was to be despised. So that was not Jack McGinn. Jack McGinn.
Oh,
relented at the end and ponied up and handed the shares over. But the whole Celtic Boys Club issue and stuff as well that totally taints that. Everyone involved in the leadership of Celtic Football Club at that time, McGinn cannot be spared from it either. Although the main mover behind it would have been Desmond White. You know, he would have been the key figure in the club at the time. Desmond White ran Celtic. Jack McGinn did not. You know, despite the fact Jack McGinn was the chief executive.
But it was a paid chairman. I mean, yeah, it was the Whites, the Kellys, and I think Jimmy Farrell and that some shit. But I don't think Jack McGinn had any like family ties.
No, he didn't. He had got himself into the club, and you know, like other people do. You could name them. You know, people who get into the club and stay there forever. And whatever else. So look, it's probably a bit of a nuanced conversation. Maybe something we should have over the summer. The guys just died. Cancers too. His family are a big Celtic family, and there's also a Belfast Celtic connection to the McGinns as well. I'm not sure if anybody is aware of it. 10 points for anybody who is.
Where?
So Jack McGinn is married to a lady called Kelly, whose father was Hughie Kelly, who was Belfast Celtic's goalkeeper, Mad Hughie Kelly. So what happened was Belfast Celtic in 1941, Belfast Celtic beat Glenavon a 13-0, and Peter O'Connor scored 11 goals, the Belfast Celtic striker. It's still the record goal scoring tally for any striker in the top league. Peter O'Connor still holds that record. Hugh Kelly was in net for Glenavon, right? On the end of a 13-0 win, and Belfast Celtic signed him after the match because Alicia Scott said it should have been 26-0 if I had them in for Hugh Kelly. So that's the connection. Jack McGinn married Hugh Kelly's daughter. So the McGinn kids now, the Stephen and John and Paul McGinn, their football lineage comes from their granda, who was from Lurgan.
Aye, brilliant.
There you go.
Excellent. Thank you, Marty.
Hugh Kelly was the cat.
So anyway, rest in peace, Jack McGinn. Thoughts to all the friends and family. And then another somber note, a big pal of mine passed away last week, John Gilmartin. Need to say a few words for the big man. Fucking hell. Devastated. Oh, Big John, everybody had seen the Celtic support. He drove the Cavi 7-1 bus for years. And just a big legend. Ran about with us for years. I've known John for a long amount of years. Some naughty things that fit by years ago when we were all kids. John was some man, an absolute sweetie life, but the nicest guy you'd ever meet, and he would do anything for anybody. In the past few years, he's been on dialysis waiting for a kidney transplant, and very sadly last week, or this week, earlier on in the week, took a heart attack and passed away. His body, I think, and just gave up because he'd been on that dialysis for a good number of years. But never once did you hear him complain or anything. We ran a night for him, and you'd see him at the Fitbit and that, and just always upbeat, always laughing, always had a rumour for you. I don't think he ever got one fucking right. Unbelievable. But honest to God, but just a big legend, and for all Celtic fans that knew him, that touched him, he was infectious, just an absolute gentleman, and he'll be sadly missed. So, but there'll be a good few banners, I think, at the game on Saturday for his memory. We've certainly got one made as well. And the big man was 55, and God love him.
My goodness.
Shocking. Terrible. The hand he was dealt, mate. Just fucking, big picture of health, big barrier guy, and then his kidneys went, and just that was him, and then just waiting in the list for a transplant. There was a couple of times nearly got a match, and we had to get the hopes up and whatever, but never materialised, and then the big man passed away. So God love him. Thoughts and prayers with all his family. Just big legend guy. Yeah. And do you know what? Seeing all the Fitbit message boards as well. See the thing that comes through. See the good wishes he has for folk for every team, Rangers fans included, because he was right into the banter with them all, but he was a right good guy, and he loved let carry on, but he was loved universally, and he was a proper Celtic lad, and Aye, just fucking got it. So, aye, for all the boys at the HomeBhoys and rest in peace, big man. And his funeral is next Friday in Barhead. So, aye, that'll be well attended. Aye, we'll be standing room only there. Just shows you none of us are getting any younger, but it's really hard when somebody you've known for years, you know, you see him all the time. You go into the fit with him for years and that. Just so sad. So my thoughts are with all the family, and God bless you, big man.
Yeah.
Sad.
Well said, Jay. Well said.
Yeah, good words. Good words.
I know. What a sweetie wife he was and all, but honestly, God. Rumours, fucking worse than Jai can, by the way. Fucking
I think
Make
you
the world
attract.
go
I
round.
think you attract them, though, Jay. I think that's what it is. I mean,
God bless him.
Aye. So let's go on. We never really got into Aberdeen. Let's go into Aberdeen last night. What we thought about it, because
What a fucking game! What an enjoyable,
unbelievable.
Feast of football. Like, you know what I mean? And Aberdeen are dirty bastards from the word go. Your man Donington stuck the boot in the Yang. What was it? The first minute? It was definitely within the first 5 minutes. Looked to me like a kick in the balls, but I think he got it sort of on his thigh. Stinking fucking tackle. It was rightly red carded eventually. I'd have had him off that one. That was fucking diabolical. Like, he was nowhere near the ball. No intention of fucking getting the ball. Just stuck the boot clean in the Yang as he was running past, you know. And oh fuck, I don't know. Like, decisions now baffle me perennially. But like, what the fuck? If you're just sinking your boot in the man's leg, surely that's a red card. It's high, no attempt whatsoever, or no ability to touch the ball when he was, and Yang was off at the races. Like, if he hadn't been tackled, he was fucking up that pitch. You know, it's fucking shocking. And he was rightly, he tackled Alameda. Another cynical tackle on Alameda when he was in on goal late in the game and was rightly red carded. He's like, get the fuck. Shinny was the fucking same as usual, and then the big guy at the end who just lathered Hatate. You're going like, what the fuck? What? Like, and Brenton Rodgers was getting pulled for fucking shouting about it, and it was right in front of him. He saw what happened. You know, so Celtic are out there trying to play football and put on a show and whatever else, and you've just got these complete cloggers who would fancy themselves as the fucking second force in Scottish football if the time is right. It's so frustrating. Do you know what I mean? You're like, what the fuck is this? Is this all you're about? Like, terrible, terrible.
And then the one near the end on Hatate, fucking hell.
I mean, that was just diabolical. Like, just a clear boot.
Aye.
And like, I don't know what. I don't think Tate's had a particularly good season, but he's been very good this last few weeks. He seems to be. I wonder, is he just a fucking? Is he an April to September player? Do you know what I mean? Is he just
very seasonal?
I wonder, is he just not like the winter or something? You know what I mean?
That was a thing I wanted to mention earlier. So I listened to Axon this week. I don't normally do that, but I just was trying to get something to listen to, and Paul John Dykes was talking about how often players have played, like Engels and Eder, like you guys have talked about the other week. But I knew Hatate had started become a professional when he was 24. I remember reading that about him before he came, but he reckons he only played 50 games in his career before he came to Celtic.
Is that right? Fucking hell.
I knew he'd gone professional from college football.
Yeah, 24 Japan. He was years old.
I knew that. I didn't really know about the kind of amount of games he played, but I did know that he'd kind of gone. He'd kind of gone past the amateur stage. He just went from college to pro.
Yeah, 50 games. That's mad, isn't it? Really explains a lot about his kind of probably his consistency and his fitness and stuff.
Aye, that's pretty mad when you actually put it like that, Liam, because obviously he's right. I'm looking at 27 years. He's only 27.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. So he turned pro at 24.
I'm sure it was 24. I'm sure he only had like one season in Japan or something, or 18 months in Japan before he came to us. You'll probably get it on Google, but I'm sure it was something like that.
Just looking at it, right? So, youth career, 23 to 2015 with a high school. Then he played with a University 2016 to 2019. And then he played 62 games for 2019 to 2022 with Kawasaki Frontale.
Right.
So he played 62 games before he came to Celtic, 62 professional games.
It's not a lot,
And
is it?
with us, he's played 102. Scored 10 goals with him in 2 years, and he scored 23 with us,
Yeah.
with 22 to 25.
Yeah. I think it's been noticeable this year that Rodgers has left him on for most games. Like Andrew's always taking him off after an hour, but like he seems to play a lot longer under Rodgers, and I've been a bit critical of him this season.
I think he's absolutely outstanding, and
Yeah, he's
up.
He's at the minute,
one of the better players.
Yeah, I've said all. He's always had the talent, but just the consistency's not been there. But he's been, since we've gone down to one game a week, like Roger said, he's been really good the last month or so. You're really seeing the kind of true form of him.
So Liam, I know you're going to be jumping off soon, so you give us your opinion of the game, give your wee rundown what you thought of it.
Yeah. I thought it was brilliant, mate. I always love watching us play in the sun. We always seem to play well when it's sunny. I was going to say that about the Hibs game as well. It seems to suit us, but I mean, I know we called it a reserve team, right? And I guess it was a second 11. But when you look around the team, some serious quality there, and we paid some dough for a lot of players there. But it was second string for us. But I think the most pleasing thing was, and I think Rogers mentioned it afterwards, is the players train that system every day. They play that way every day. And that's the whole point in having a squad like that, is that players can come in and they should know exactly what they're asked to do. And you saw that, I think, last night. I thought we were right on the front foot from the outset. I thought Navrocki just looked really good from the first minute, and Trustees. Can
you hear Liam?
No, he's
you're breaking up on Liam. Can you hear us? Earth to Liam. Earth the long shanks.
He's been strangled.
Hello.
See, I was you giving him the big off, you fucking goal. He just put a fucking
No,
fucking zone.
exactly.
Yeah,
He's fainted. He's fainted.
I'm here.
All right, you back, mate. You back, right?
Yeah.
You go to Navrocki.
Listen. I know I've got my daughter's iPad because Donna's got mine on holiday, and she's just connected her AirPods to it. That's why you lost me for a minute there.
I want to hear your fucking sob stories, you lonely bastard.
Right, so you go to Navrocki when you go, mate.
Yeah, sorry. So Navrocki I thought was brilliant. Just Trusty's pretty hesitant on the ball, but I thought Navrocki was really decisive. Stepping into the play all the time. Looked a really good player. Yang was right at it from the start. You don't often see this in professional football, but the way Forrest was terrorising Shinnie was actually a bit embarrassing. But by the end of the game, and I don't mind Shinnie. I think he's a fairly decent player, right? For what he is, but I was actually getting embarrassed for him. Yeah, but
the boxing that had been stopped at half time.
Yeah,
they just
You know what I love about James Forrest? See when James Forrest gets a wee sniffy, he just goes, "Oh, I'm going to take this as far as I can go.
Yeah,
I'm going to push this cunt to the limits."
Here, Liam.
And he gets better as the game goes on with that mindset, because he goes, "I'm just going to show off now. Fuck this guy." I mean, he's
Liam.
As a kind of quiet, unassuming kind of guy, he tortures players in the most arrogant and intimidating way.
Come on.
Would you like a fucking killer stat before you
go? Go for it, man. I love a stat. I love a stat.
Killer stat. The last Aberdeen goalkeeper to keep a clean sheet against Celtic has just turned 60.
Jim Leighton.
Nope.
Theo Snelders.
Nope.
Do
you want to know who it is?
I do.
I'll tell you what. I won't tell you who it is, but I'll tell you what game it was, because you'll all remember the game.
Aberdeen goalkeeper.
Correct. He has just turned 60. He was the last goalkeeper to keep a clean sheet against Celtic for Aberdeen.
What? That's a fucking difficult one to answer.
But you'll know the game. You'll all remember the game.
Great stat, that is. I love that one.
Do you give up?
Yeah, I do.
Right.
So I'll never guess.
In Martin O'Neill's time, we were playing it up there at Batodry, and they blattered our fucking players with snowballs.
Yeah,
Do you remember it?
yeah.
We lost.
Yeah.
We lost 2-0, and the goalkeeper was Peter Keir. They have not kept a clean sheet against us since.
Goalkeeper was who?
You should. Man, that's not
Peter-
right. Because Marty, that's
Peter
not right.
Keir.
It's not right. I'm not having
That's
that,
what
Marty. They beat us. They beat us the last game of the season 1-0.
But did they keep a
Celtic
clean sheet?
Park when we won the league. Yeah, 1-0. They won
When was that?
1-0.
Well, that's what I was told yesterday.
Must
You
have been
need
at Tawdry you're talking
Under-
about.
Possibly, but that was one that was flung up yesterday, and I went, that was Peter Keir, and I went, how the fuck do you know? And I went, I remember the game because the plattered us with fucking snowballs.
Nah, they
Do you
definitely
remember that?
beat
Remember
us.
the hit
Right. Someone in the
Patrol?
chat will tell you.
Right, well, so you can dig it out then. There you go.
The
That's a
comments
I
are
remember
going to
the game.
fucking torture
Good
Marty
talk.
Flynn right now.
Where was the 1-0 game, Liam? Celtic Park?
Celtic Park, last game of the season after we won the league.
Aye, so
it'll be
it
Pittodrie.
must be Pittodrie then.
Butler said Joe's goggling. I don't know what the fuck that means. Googling
Joe
it.
what?
I mean, fucking, he said he's goggling.
Joe's goggling. Fuck me.
Right,
That's
so
elite.
carry on,
That's elite.
Skip. Any other observations for the game?
Yeah, just we've covered most of them really. Kenny, it was great to see him get a run out. He looked a bit too eager at first, didn't he? Snatching a little bit and stuff. Didn't get many chances. Didn't get many touches of the ball in the first half, but looked a bit eager. But delighted to see him get his goal. Looks a player. When we were talking earlier about buying players and stuff, I mean, Luke McCowan's our 5th choice midfielder at the minute. And look how good he is.
He took that goal. He took that goal brilliant. Fucking
yeah.
It come off.
I just thought he
It
was
come off the
great.
keeper. It come off the keeper. It seemed to me as if it come off the keeper's shoulder, but his movement. If you watch it again, he sort of took a funny touch, and all the Aberdeen defenders just stopped. The way he went, it was like
I know it was the hang mate. Aye, because the way he touched, but the big guy fell, didn't the big guy?
it was like a weird.
Aye,
And you were just like,
I think he lost his footing or whatever, but it was McCowan's jink where they maybe turned him sort of thing. That he lost
that's
his
what
footing.
I think. He was waiting on him going forward, and he went backwards or something. And it was like, that was fucking class.
By the way, he's been a great signing for us as well.
Yeah.
Oh, super.
I thought
What's he chipped in with 7 or 8 goals?
Yeah, 7 last night. I think 7th.
loads of energy.
He's been brilliant.
Glad
That's
to
what
be
I'm
here.
saying. He's
Celtic fan.
yeah, and look,
Sure
it's a
that
debate for another night. But we're talking about potentially signing Lennon Miller. Well, McCowan's 5th choice, midfielder for us. Unless someone leaves, where does Miller fit in?
And then you've got McCardle as well coming in.
Yeah. So,
so
it's a debate for the summer maybe, but it's interesting.
By the way, somebody mentioned it in the chat earlier when I was scrolling through it, when I was looking for whatever I was looking for, somebody mentioned it. I think it did. But do you think it's apparent now that you've got quite a lot of Celtic fans in the team?
Yeah, Rogers was asked about it yesterday about having the Scottish core, and he was saying that's what he's trying to do. And like Tierney was mentioning, and he was going, "No, you have to." He says you have to have fans who care or players who care. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to cultivate here. And he spoke about the youth system and all that, and blah blah blah. And Tierney was mentioned too. So yeah, there's Athletic Club have scored. Yes, get again.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? You do so, but the other thing is, Liam, too, just what you're saying about McCann and Lennon Miller. Like this is the time now that we should be starting to reshape our midfield for the next 10 years. Because McGregor's going, Hatate will likely go. So you have Engels already in. So who the fuck's going to partner them to? Do you know what I mean? That's what we should be focusing. Who's going to be in the midfield with him? Because obviously he's our record signing. So the long term plan is for him to anchor the midfield. So if Lennon Miller and McCann, is that Rogers' vision of our midfield or what? Do you know? So, but anyway, as you say, it's probably a fucking yarn for the summer.
It is one for another time, mate. But I think the theme was from last night, like you started off with, Marty. Just players. It's really positive. Kuhn back to form. Hatate on top of his form. We're looking strong. A couple of big injuries, which losing Jota and stuff, but strong all over the park, playing brilliant football. And I cannot wait for Saturday, and then the following Saturday, I think we could have 2 really brilliant performances and results to look forward to. So bring it on.
It's a James Forrest fucking. That's a James Forrest fucking. That's a fucking. Come on, son.
Did you hear Charlie Mulgrew about him on Sports Team?
No. I love Charlie McGraw. Charlie McGraw's funny as fuck.
So, so we're obviously saying you play with him. He's great. Oh, he's amazing. He says he's got this record now thing. He says but he says, can you imagine the statue? He says it'll be the shortest statue in Scottish history. He says, he says it'll just be like a wee pair of shoulders with no neck. Fucking genius. I actually heard him then. I went, what did he? No, Evans. What did he fucking say? And then I
It'll be-
rewound it.
There's a man that can't get any kind of respect. Fuck me.
It'd be a bit, it'd be a bit,
Sorry,
Hilarious.
man, you go.
I was just going to
Fucking
say, it'd be a
streamer.
bit like Charlie Mulgrew's managerial career by the look of things, man.
No, he's short and stunted.
That's it.
Did you see it when they were shoving James at the end of the game to go to the crowd?
Oh,
and that? It was
good.
so reluctant to do it, but they eventually done it. And it's like, aye. Brilliant. And by the way, the song they were singing as well, James
James
Forrest on the
wing.
wing. Aye,
That's fucking high praise there.
aye, that is high praise. He deserves
That
it.
is
Deserves
absolutely
it.
high
Right,
praise. But listen, he was fabulous last night. You know what I mean? He was everywhere. Fuck me. 2 assists. They have 2 or 3 assists. He had at least fucking 2 assists. He was fucking he could have scored at least one occasion. You know what I mean? He sort of tapped it at the keeper rather than fucking having to go. You know what I mean? So he's been a brilliant servant. I just pray. Everybody's fucking praying. Every time he gets the ball, everybody's going, shoot. You know, we just all want him to get that record. So fingers crossed. He's got 2 games to do it. So I would not put it past him whatsoever. And I actually think he played the last 2 games. You know, I think when he'll start him. Or sorry, I think Rodgers will start in the last 2 games, you know, so every chance.
Jingle will start in the cup final as well.
I think he made both Jada's out, so he's every chance of playing. He's fit. He's fucking brilliant.
Like I've said before,
He saw last night, isn't it? On his own. I'm not saying Rodgers is. I don't mean like Rodgers trying to do him a humble. You fucking seen him last night. He was outstanding. He ripped them as apart last night. So why the fuck wouldn't you play him again 2 weeks against the same team?
60 minutes out of a fit James Forrest is better than 120 minutes out of a fucking average winger.
Well, he's very highly experienced, fit as a fiddle. You know, happy to play when he's asked for. You may be right. Like he may start on the bench and come off the bench, but he'll play 100%. But I'd have no qualms with playing. James Forrest loves Hamden. Absolutely loves it. That big fat fucking pitch. Talk about it on here all the time. He's totally built for it. His experience now, he's such a good touch of the ball, and he doesn't need to rely on his pace as much. You know, that pitch is built for him. He can end up setting up 2 or 3 goals, but you just pray. You'd love to see him get one. Like, and it was you said it earlier on, Liam, like he gets a fucking penalty or something. Jesus Christ, you'd be chasing him down the pitch with a ball, you know, and giving it to him.
Definitely. Right, I'm going to check out on that note. Joe, looking forward to seeing you Saturday. Jason, I'll see you Saturday as well.
Look forward to seeing you. Can't wait for it, buddy.
I'll see you soon, Marty. Don't worry.
God bless, bro.
Right, take it easy, boys.
See you later. Look, buddy.
So the Athletic Club, right, that's 3 points behind Atletico Madrid in 3rd place, 2 games left. Atletico Madrid play Real Betis at home. Athletic Club are away to Valencia. And then Atletico Madrid are away to Girona in the last game. And Athletic Club have got Barcelona at home. They've obviously won the league and they'll be winding down. But
hopefully they'll have fucking shut down.
So you never know. Could get 3rd. Right.
So how many Champions League places have they got? 4 or 5?
5.
So they're in. So that's all that matters.
Definitely. But happy days. But we need to talk about the young Sean McArdle. And do you know what? See like, so he said 2 appearances, a 5 minutes and a 10 minutes. See that 10 minutes last night? I don't think he misplaced a pass. Or every time he had the ball at his feet, it was a bit of magic. You were like, fuck it. Don't get me wrong, you're playing an Aberdeen team that's dead in their feet, they're pumped, right? So, no getting away ahead of myself, but the boy looks as if he's class. He looks proper good, doesn't he?
It's one of those no fear performances, isn't it? Like one of those like going like this boy doesn't give a fuck about the stage. He's all about the game.
Right. You look at that with
It's
Barcelona, so if they're good enough, play them. But Rodgers has got
exactly.
this thing, he doesn't want them until they're 21.
But
Obviously.
that's not going to fly. You can see the way again. The Celtic have to prove the path. Pardon me. They have to prove the pathway. Do you see if we were talking about a pathway into the first team, then whatever fucking player in the squad that has exceptional talent needs to be on that pathway because other players are just going. There's no fucking point in being here. Do you know what I mean? Like I think I might have told you this before. I was talking to a youth player's ma one day. We met her. We're on a plane together, come back from a match. Not or about 3 years ago when Ange was here, and she was giving off. She was saying like if he fucking told him, he told him that he was to play this game, and he's saying such and such. Like he's out playing fucking half of Japan, or sorry, he's out buying half of Japan, or he's sitting like a fucking snatter. And the argument that anybody can make would be like, if you're good enough, you're in, and players in Japan shouldn't make any difference if you're coming in. If you're good enough, you should be in, and that's a fair enough argument. I'm not saying that that's not true, but we Rogers again in his press conference yesterday spoke about that and says there is the pathway here to get into the first team. So we need to be sure young players need to be getting half an hour in the first team on a regular basis. Like if we're fucking 4 and 5, look at our scoring record this year. You would forsake 30 or 40 goals. Not kidding. Like we have a goal difference of 90 odd or something. So you would forsake 40 or 50 goals to blood 2 or 3 young players. That's how I kind of look at it. You know what I mean? You're going, well, they really need a goal difference of fucking 90 if we're bringing in a player, either one who's going to be really, really useful to us in the year ahead or years ahead, or two, you're fattening up to be sold because you can say, well, he's got first team experience. I think that kind of debate needs to be started to be had because we have had really, really good players come through at youth level and there's something wrong. Like I've been saying it, I've actually nearly been advocating to get rid of the fucking youth system because there's no point in it anymore because they can just come down and take your youth players off you willy-nilly at 15 or 16, just go, no, we'll take you down to wherever the fuck or away to wherever.
Aye.
So we have to have a different viewpoint on it. We have to say, listen, no, out of the 60, 70 matches we're playing this year, X amount of our youth team will play Y amount of games, and that's solid. Now, it's up to you cunts. It's up to the fucking team. It's up to the kids themselves to put themselves in the frame for those positions. But we're taking a strategic decision as a club to move in a certain way.
But
Like
Jingle
what else
do that.
can I think we'll have to, and I think that's the point that Rogers was making yesterday. I think he was saying that we're coming in now. There's going to be a changing of the guard, right? McGregor's going to be going at some stage. Forrest is going to be going at some stage. Where are we getting our refresher players? Because Rogers is saying, "Oh no, I want those type of players in my team." Right? Where the
But,
fuck are they?
but he sat there last year speaking to us, talking about specifically Rocco Vata and Daniel Kelly, but he didn't mention them by names. But he says they need to be patient. He says I don't
Yeah.
believe players are ready for the first team until they're about 21. And you're going like, you're looking at fucking Barcelona tonight, at Lamal, and you're saying, what are you talking about? Fucking,
It's not right. Like it's not right. And
see, the thing is, right, he said that. So if your young boy, young Sean, he thinks, right, well, I'm now 17, I've got 4 years before I'm going to get a game here. Some agent would be in his ear and saying, well, I can get you fucking 10 grand to go to fucking Middlesbrough or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
No.
It's like it's the game has changed here, kids. That's the issue. And like Francis Turley was the same. Like Francis Turley was in here at the start of the season and he was going, fuck, he looks alright. And I'm not saying either that we should murder young players. No, I mean we shouldn't be sort of killing young players before the flower. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there should be a strategic decision to make. If we're in a game like last night, like Dundee United, even like maybe even like Hibs, I don't think we were ever in any danger of losing the game against Hibs.
No,
You know,
exactly. And it's the
so
perfect time to bring them in. See when a team's winning, that's when you you blood them.
Exactly.
You bring them in. There's no pressure. If they make a mistake,
Yes.
big deal. You're still winning the game. Or even if you draw, it doesn't really matter. The league's
And
won.
there's two other examples of it this season, Jason. It's young Cummings, who we'll probably never fucking see again, I don't think, and Dean Murray as well, who were brought in, who was brought in the
Aye.
Champions League game. Like, and you're going like, really, was that the best way to fucking deal with that kid? Was that like Cummings has been banging him in the Lowland League or whatever the fuck we're in? Really, is it like you were just going to wait this guy out? I don't know. I don't know. I think we definitely need to do something. Putting players out in loans fine too, if they're getting a certain standard of football. Like Johnny Kenny we spoke about earlier on is a great example of that. Previously would have been Rogic or there are players who've went out. Absolutely stellar example of that is Callum McGregor. Going to Notts County. We need to be more creative about how we actually look at our kids and say, listen, here's the news. See, once you hit this age, if Breton wants to stick that strategy, that's fine. You're out of here. You're getting into the English Championship where we're going to try and get you as much football as you can because they play fucking 50 games a season. Off you go for 6 months or for 12 months. You're not coming back. You're playing football. Then when you come back, there is this tier of but not performance. This tier of football that you're in. So you're getting a half an hour every second home game. And it's up to fucking you. See if you balls this up, you're out the fuck. We're bombing you out and the next guy's up. And that's what's going to keep them on their toes. Because they're
You're
going,
obviously not going to tell them that, but they know that's the unwritten rule. But the thing is, you look at Callum McGregor, Celtic loaned him to Notts County. Did him the world of good.
it's a stellar example. That's my point, isn't it? That is the
Aye.
absolute fucking... Like, I used to sit... It was... My mates will tell you, I used to watch the Football League show on BBC at the time because Colin McGregor was playing for Notts Forest or Notts County. He was fucking brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. He had actually been good for Celtic before. He'd scored a couple of goals, like big fucking 25-yarders and all that sort of stuff. He was doing that week on week at Notts County. He was fucking fabulous. And I was going, this kid has it. Fucking hell, get him back. And that's what you need to be doing. And sometimes it's something as simple as an injury in the squad or something. You know what I mean? When you're next up.
Aye, you can be lucky. Tierney got lucky.
Kieran Tierney, absolutely. A great example.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? We would never have seen that kid in his full potential if shit hadn't happened. Remember, I was actually laughing because it was the other fucking week. It was on my Facebook page, Nostradamus Mick. Remember his dad? Fucking pointing at him. He's a fucking feature here. Fucking radiant.
It just came up on my Facebook before we came on there and I reposted it 9 years
Brilliant.
ago.
I seen
And,
it, sir. I liked it. I liked the post.
Aye.
9
Fucking-
years on. Like, that's
aye.
scary. Jesus fucking never, ever thought that
know.
was 9 years ago. Yeah, the same
And it's
score,
just that again, but you talked about Chris Sutton earlier on, the Kieran Tierney thing, it's just been the absolute perfect storm for us to get him back here. See if he didn't get that injury at the Euros, he would never have been back here. No, in the prime of his career. He would have definitely had a deal with Real Sociedad, or maybe Arsenal would have gave him the extension.
Jason, that's fucking by the by. See if Tierney had a wanted to, like, there's no doubt. Like, look at the Arsenal fans, their attitude towards him. He could walk into almost any team in England. Man United would take him, Spurs would take him, fucking, Newcastle United would take him.
I think, right, I'm not 1,000,000% here, but I'm pretty sure there was 3 deals on the table for Everton, Aston Villa, and some other Premiership team.
I have,
and he knocked them all back.
I have absolutely no fucking doubt. Like,
because when Arsenal didn't extend his deal, then he just had it in his head. I'm going to Celtic, and that's it. And it's just I want to go home. And obviously with injuries, and you think, fuck, my career could be over here, and probably he's made plenty of money, and he's probably just says, no, I want to take this chance. Obviously I'm not speaking for him. He's not told me this, right? But in my head, 100%, that's what's happened. He's thought about things, and he's like, no, I might not get another chance to get back there.
It's not a business move. I mean, he's not trying to make a fortune out of it. Like he's doing it because he wants to come home. He
Oh,
wants
You
to
look
live
at
himself.
you look at a player like Seamus Coleman at Everton, and you could easily see Kieran Tierney doing that role at Everton.
Yeah.
And becoming the hero. Do you know what I mean? That Seamus Coleman was for them, like easily, fucking easily. But worst teams in Everton would take fucking Tierney in the morning and pay him fucking handsomely for his services, like without a shadow of a doubt.
Aye, without a doubt. But obviously, you obviously contemplate life, don't you? See when you must. Obviously, I've never been in the position, right? But you would think to yourself, when he got that injury at the Euros, he's getting back to full fitness. He's playing at the top stage. He's playing in the English Premiership. He's in loan to a top team in La Liga. He's loving life, living in one of the most beautiful places in the world. They're willing to give him a deal to stay there for 4 years, and then it all just gets took away from him. The deal's withdrawn. He's injured, and he's like, "What the fuck's going to happen to me?" And then he gets back fit, which he's done every time he's got an injury. He's worked like a dog to get back fit. He gets fit, and he's probably just went like that. I just want to get back to Celtic. This is it, because I'm not taking any more chances to ruin that opportunity. Because I think he would have come back to Celtic maybe in about 2 or 3 years if he was still fit. Because I think he would always have wanted to have done that. That would have been totally in his mind. But once that injury happened, he's probably just says, "No, this needs to happen now." And aye, I think as Arsenal have gave him game time. The last 6 months. Seemingly, I didn't see it, but seemingly got heroes when they come on at Anfield. For their fans. So they love him. And they fucking obviously hate Arteta now as well. And he, a different manager there, you never know how it would have worked out. But just everything's been the perfect storm, and we're getting a guy back there that's fucking a world class football player that's coming to us for jack shit. They've already got 25 million for.
That's the thing. I mean, that is the bad part. Going like, we're getting this guy for buck she.
Honestly, it's fucking unbelievable. Genuinely is. Like,
Do you think in the summer we could get Kyogo back?
Well, there's a possibility, but the
do you want it back, Jay? Do you want it back?
The thing is, right?
I'm really too arsed.
Yeah, man.
Kyogo can do what he can do, right? But Kyogo's head's in a different place because he has been told, or somebody has fucking told him, that he can't get into the Japanese team without.
Unless he's on the bench in France.
but you know what I mean? Like, it was such a fucking strange move. Like,
it must have had something to do with the Jota deal. It must have been tied in together.
No, I just don't. Maybe possibly just now, but because it's hard to fucking fathom otherwise. But why the fuck would you go to the Rennes in a league like
a relegation battle?
Liga is like really the poor sister of the European leagues. Like, you never fucking hear any. Like, everybody loves the Bundesliga. La Liga is it. You know what I mean? It's the pinnacle.
They talk about the top 5 leagues, but France is fucking. It's a kid on them, but it's top 4.
Aside from PSG, whoever fucking talks about it. Like,
no, but
Matt Sayre, a cracking team in that. You couldn't name 3 players.
But like, if I mentioned Marseille to my son, he'd be like, "Who?"
It's so fucking strange, right? Because France is a huge country, you know what I mean, and has a massive football tradition, like Platini and all that sort of shit. But as a league, it's just not. Like, it doesn't excite anybody, or you're not, if you want to shine, you go to the Bundesliga, you go to La Liga, even the lesser club in La Liga, or you go to fucking like Milan, one of the Milan teams, or you go to Napoli or somewhere. Like, what the fuck would take you to Rennes? Stade Rennes? Why? No, but genuinely, like, it's fucking absolutely baffling. God bless them for giving us 10 million for him. Like, I don't know what we spent on him, say £1 million. We got 10 times what we paid for him.
I mean,
there's no
person in the world that's fucking going to win an argument with me saying Stade Rennes are a bigger team than Celtic. Fucking.
It was such a fuck. But what we were told was he needed to up his sort of profile so that he could breach into the Japanese team ahead of the World Cups and the Euro and whatever the fuck. And you're going like, well, that's fine. That makes sense to me. But he would have probably actually been better going back to Japan. wouldn't he?
Aye.
What the fuck?
Aye.
Like, who the fuck's going to see him playing for Stade Rennes?
Nobody, because he didn't really play.
Aye,
But
but even
also
if he
too,
was
like
playing,
I was arguing it with people I know too, and I was saying like that his injury record, his slate frame, was doing him no fucking favors. See that shoulder injury and all, like it really wasn't. Like, and he had the reputation of somebody who was brittle, and that's no fucking good at the top level. Do you know what I mean? Because you're getting booted fucking stupid now. Players are clever about it, and defenders are smart, but big physical defenders could break your fucking neck by doing literally nothing, like just running into them. And that's kind of where Hugo was. I always felt that's why he would never really make it at the Champions League because their defenders are so fucking, you know, they're like brick walls now. The way the physicality of the game is and the way players train and do weights and stuff like that, it's tough for him at that level. It really is. So, uh, is there a chance we could get him back? Absolutely. Would you want him back? Probably would. You know, you'd probably take him and say, "Oh, I fuck no." I mean, you're putting his goal straight back into the team. You know what he's going to do, but he still has the same limitations as when he fucking left. He's older. He's injury prone. You know, so the likes of Johnny Kenny or somebody like that, you wouldn't be letting them go if you bring Hugo back. Don't mean because you know Hugo's going to miss loads of fucking games in the season. You know, same
aye,
way
it's
Aramida.
kind of like you're getting if you get him back for nothing, right? And he's went 20 grand a week or something like that, you would take it, but it would be like, aye. But I still think he's a quality player. You know, he was great for us, and but as again, look, see, the good thing with Celtic now is, see, no matter who leaves us, we kind of move on. I mean, I know when Kieran left, that was just fucking, everybody was devastated, one of our own leaving and all that, but fucking went through it a million times the reasons why. But it's kind of different times now because we lost Matt Riley, who was arguably our best player that season. Well, I would always say Callum McGregor, right? But Matt Riley was running him a close second. And the Demde Bat in Ireland, nobody even mentioned his name after he left.
Nope. Nah, and
No,
he hasn't had a good season either.
no,
So he
no.
hasn't. He's
We could get
and again,
him back as well.
listen, fucking hell. What is he already? He's only 27, 28, isn't he?
Aye.
Fucking hell. Imagine.
But again, it tells you it's another amazing story, right? That how many players have left Celtic and went on to amazing things?
Yeah.
There's no many.
I would actually put Tierney in that
Larson?
bracket. I think Tierney's had a great career.
Larson and Tierney, right? Tierney's done brilliant. You know, obviously he's been a massive success. You look at Charlie Nicholas. I think he won a couple of cups with Arsenal and probably picked a ranked team. Brian McClare done brilliant. Man United legend. But you're
Very,
talking,
very,
we're
very
getting back
few.
to the 80s now.
Mo Johnson.
Who? Never heard
Oh,
him.
Jesus.
Never heard him.
Jesus.
But
Benny.
but hang on, Jason, right? So there's a fucking actually there's a real decent comparator, right? Judas went to Nantes, who at that time were not a bad fucking team. If you remember, Nantes in the 80s were alright.
Aye.
And like was back within a fucking year. You know, such a fucking strange move, Hugo. At Hugo moved around. Of all the clubs, you'd have never ever have picked Rennes. You'd have never have picked Rennes either for fucking Jada.
No. They must have just had potfuls of money at the time.
Must have. Clearly.
It must be a wild experience, basically being a fucking club commodity. It gets shifted around like a poker chip. I mean, it's gotta be fucking. I mean, like I think Hugo's made a mistake somewhere along the way in terms of like whoever's advising him.
Aye, but the thing is, Joe, you're not getting shifted around. You get shifted around like a poker chip back in the 80s, the 90s. Nowadays, it's the players. The players are instigating it. And obviously, they're maybe getting advised wrong by their advisors, but the advisors are working for them.
Do you trust the wrong people? Is that what it is? I mean, I know, like we've generally had a fucking scathing fucking idea of agents and stuff like that that are on this podcast. Even though we had Jerry Carlisle on before, and he spoke about that, and but it's just it must be difficult to know who to trust when it comes down to like where your future's going.
But here's the thing,
in a very short career.
But
Here,
see, the bottom line
so
is the bottom line is, Joe. It's still the player has got the ultimate choice. See
that's what I was what I was
I know,
about to say, Jason.
but do they know
Jerry,
that? That was the question. You know what I mean?
no, but Jerry Carlay will tell you. Jerry's told me privately, like when we're talking about individuals that we know, and Jerry will say, "I never tell anybody to do fuck all." He says, "I get whatever I can get, and then I show it to them." He says, "But they make the decision, or their dads make the decision, or their mas make the decision."
Aye,
He
aye.
says, "I actually do, but never tell them. Here's what you're doing." Do you know the agent's there to bring the deal to the person, but the person makes the fucking like look at it. Look at
100%.
this fucking look at this court case going on in England with Andy Cole and all these fucking cunt English footballers, right? And they're blaming everybody because they get horsed by these fucking tax deals.
Film
I,
fucking.
I I haven't seen this. What is this?
It's basically
So
the same as EBTs with the Huns had.
yeah,
Oh,
but it's the same as the Celtic. Martin O'Neill and Neil Lennon and all cunts like that
They
all
were
get
in it as well. Aye.
well,
they all have it too, but and so, some people are saying so their argument is look we're victims. These criminals came to us with all these deals and told us this and that and the other thing, and we gave them our money and we wanted it to be invested, and they fucked us, and but we're being held responsible, right? And you're going, well, that, okay, right, okay, we listen to this, fair enough, that's your argument. Why the fuck did you put all your money in it?
aye, and you must have saying something.
Why did you put no? They're fucking saying their lives away. The fuck, all their money was lost.
Don't
They're all
say
poor. They all,
anything.
they all got their fucking eyes wiped. But the problem is, they didn't just get their eyes wiped. The tax man's now onto them too for their tax, so they're getting fucked twice. And my argument about that is no. See, if you had to give a proportion of your money to that, like if you were investing in a portfolio and that was just part of your fucking portfolio, well, that's understandable. And you'd only be liable to a certain amount of tax. You fucked your entire wages and savings into that because you thought it was going to fucking make you a fortune on a tax break.
You greedy
Fuck,
motherfucker.
fuck you. Exactly, Joe. You're a greedy bastard. That's why you done it. That's
Aye.
why you fucking done it. You thought that you were fucking the tax man over, and the tax man was smarter than you. And these morons you thought were fucking morons who were bringing you this great deal were smarter than you too. Fuck you. You made millions. Andy Cole was the best player of football in England. He was the highest ever transfer fee, £7 million. When Alex Ferguson bought him, he broke the transfer record. And he's out crying, fucking, oh, poor me with a poor mouth. And you're going, no,
How much these guys lose?
millions upon millions, but
Millions.
it's not what they lost because you lose it, you lose it. You
Aye,
lose your money's gone. They're
aye.
now being hit for penalties by the tax man, and they have no money
Because they were trying to underhand it.
because they were trying to fuck the tax man, and that was my
Oh
was
no,
and
you got the dildo of consequence rarely comes lubed.
lubed exactly, Joe, and that's that, and that's my argument to them. Like I was reading the thing and it was through my head. Listen, this all makes your argument makes perfect sense. Some guy came to you and offered you this fucking deal. You took it and fucking you get fucked. Well, no problem. Why did you put all your money into that? You put all your money into it because you thought the more I put in, the more I'm gonna fuck the tax man. And that's why you dumped your entire savings into it. Instead of saying, I've got 9 million in the bank, here's 1 million, stick it into that, let's see how that goes. You lobbed everything into it because you thought you were getting a tax break on all your savings. Fuck you. Fuck Rangers and fuck all you rich fucking football cunts who were too fucking stupid to see them coming. You
Oh,
should have seen them coming.
Aye.
see, the end of the day, so much prime pickings for a ruthless fucking con men, the
Yep,
football community. You know,
100%. And here's the thing, Jason. Jerry Carlisle's mate is Paul McVeigh. Paul played for Norwich and played for Spurs. He does like a TED talk sort of thing. He's like a motivational speaker, very smart guy. At the time, it was him and Phil Mulrain. McRae and Mulrain left Belfast.
Priest.
Yeah, Philly's now a priest. So Paul McVeigh does a brilliant thing called he actually wrote a book, published his book, The Stupid Footballer is Dead. And when I look at shit like that, I'd be going, I'm not sure you're fucking right, Paul, to be honest, nah. And he says these people thought they were fucking smart and thought that they were getting one over on the tax man. And here he is ready to bait the burger clean
Do you know
fucking
what?
off him.
I've always had a firm belief that
that some people just don't suit money.
I know.
Well, it's not that, Joe. It's just you get right. They always tell you, see, if you win the lottery, make sure in a year's time you've not got any new phone numbers on your phone.
Right, and also
Right.
tell no cunt.
Aye, but the thing is, how many people would abide with that? You look at the
None.
guy. He was at
None.
he was at the same school as me at John McGuinness. It was the biggest lottery winner in Britain at the time, 18 million or something. He's now living in a decent. He was staying in a bed sit. No, he was staying with his mum in a camp bed or something like that, working as a hospital porter. Next thing, 18 million. Next thing, he's bought Livingston FC. You know, with Dominic Keane and Willie Hockey, and you're like, fucking hell, aye. But they'd made sure he'd fucking underwritten all the debt in his fucking name.
But that's what I'm saying, mate. But that's the thing. When you get money, you don't need to leap that far ahead in society.
Why don't you just win money, and why don't you just go and spend it? You know,
there's a couple up in North one about 114 million, and they spent, and the woman is like, "Only I spend more money helping the community and people that don't have money with my money than I do anything else."
But see, footballers, right? I can kind of get it. They've got a 10-year window, really.
They've also got egos, Marty, and self-preservation.
No, but listen, not all footballers are the same. Fucking some people, some footballers are smart, and some footballers are stupid, and some footballers are egotistical, and some footballers aren't. Do you know what I mean? You look at what the Nevils have done in terms of property, buying up fucking half of Manchester and all like that. Do you know what I mean? It's some fucking players are great, but it's the point is, if you have enough money to buy the best advice that you can get.
Yeah, that's
Look
true.
So the Huns, was it Harbour posted that in earlier on? Hold on, let me check a fucking group chat here. I thought it was Harbour.
Well, Barry Ferguson wasn't as thick as folk made him out to be anyway. He must have seen well before time what was going to happen with the LGBT thing, and he'd signed everything out of his wife.
His wife, exactly. No, what was Barry smart, or was Barry just giving good advice by somebody? Here's the thing. Alex Thompson today, the Channel 4 reporter, is reporting that Paul Baxendale Walker, the fucking porn star that the Huns relied on their advice, has been warned for their financial fucking advice, has been warned again by HMRC that he is punting these illegal fucking tax things again, and they have told him if he doesn't stop it, they're going to criminally prosecute him because he fucking knows that they're illegal, and he's still out there fooling stupid cunts.
Oh, I
mean, well, that's
getting one over.
A porn star's not going to fuck you, is he? I mean,
absolute parasites. These people just must sit in a dark room at night thinking of how they can rob gullible people.
But that's the thing, Jason. Like, there's so many people that have a lot that don't have a lot. You know what I mean? When it comes
to the thing is, so you think to yourself, right? Successful businessmen, right, that have worked their balls off all their days to make money, right? He's not going to go after them. So where does he say? He says, who's get pot for his money that doesn't know what to do with it? Sports stars. Who's the, on average, lowest IQ sports stars out there? Football players that are earning the most amount of money. So there's a big wide net there, tons of them. But if you can get your claws in there, you can maybe bribe a couple of folk to help you with it, and you get them in there and you show them this big sham, and you make it professional, and you get the right people involved. The law start, like the Pied Piper, the law start coming, and you're just like, fucking hell, man. Use that fucking daft. You know, it's mental. It's absolute. I mean, see me, I trust nobody, right?
I'm exactly the same, Jason.
Where money's concerned and stuff like that. See somebody telling me, somebody try to sell me something, I'm like, fuck off.
Because generally, if it's too good to be fucking true, it's too good to be fucking true.
I approach everything with cynicism.
But here's the thing, Jason, right? Martin O'Neill gets fucked bad. Martin O'Neill has a law degree.
Yeah. But he's obviously greedy. You know, obviously
Jason, you have fucking hit the fucking nail on the fucking head. These people thought they were being fucking smart. We will fuck the tax man. We will keep more of this money than we should fucking normally be allowed to because we've got this fucking scheme that's going on. Make up these funny fucking films that'll never be ever, come near the TV or the fucking cinema and lob all your money in it and then get your tax breaks off it. Like, fuck yous. Every one of you deserve to get fucked
But that's a
just
thing.
for being cunts.
See when
How
you
much
got
money
tens
do
of
you
millions,
want?
see you got tens of millions in the bank. In this day and age, it's quite easy to sit in the pocket and let that money make money and live a
Aye.
good life. But unless
Joe,
you want to compete in the market of being fucking rich and powerful, you're going,
Joe,
fuck all that.
see, when you're wealthy, you cannot give wealth away, right? Wealth begets wealth. You literally cannot give it away. You can't stop being wealthy if you're fucking wealthy. The only way to stop being wealthy when you're wealthy is to die. Like, if you have wealth and it's managed properly for you, like, I used to work for a fucking organization that handled funds, wealth funds. I worked for them. I saw it in action. I was like, what the fuck? This was during the crash. And cunts were making fucking untold amounts of money.
They invest in safe investments. You
Jason,
don't
100%.
speculate to accumulate. They
No.
just put it into safe bets that
Yep.
will never ever depreciate or never depreciate by a large
Right.
amount.
As long as it turns
Exactly.
over, that's okay.
Aye.
Exactly. And that's where them footballers were. Them footballers were in a position that, like Andy Cole, I don't know what he was making at that stage. What, 1985, he made that move. Probably he was on maybe 30, 40,000 pound a week at that stage. Like, now looking back, it wasn't a lot of money, but in them fucking days, it was incredible.
Massive
Like, it was like baffling amounts of money that Man United were throwing about. And look at the fucking state of Man United today. Like, they wouldn't even pay for their fucking staff members to go. In fairness to Celtic, I remember Celtic paid for 300 staff members to go to Seville. Man United refused.
And your man
They,
Amarin stepped in, didn't he?
he paid for them personally. He
Well,
paid for them personally.
here's an interesting point now, right? So obviously Dermot Desmond's coming up 30 years. He's been at Celtic.
Yep.
30 years.
Good segue there, Jason.
Right? And then you look at the Glazers, 20 years at Man United, roughly about the same time as the anniversary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, do you know that they've brought in a law now in English football that see the Glazers wouldn't be allowed to take over Man United now?
But I'm not sure that would be the fucking case, Jason, to be honest.
No, it is.
Can't bend the fucking rules when it's
There's no, because they borrowed the money to buy Man United.
know that it was what's called a leverage buyout. The leverage in the deal.
Yeah. So but the thing is, people are saying now that I was listening to the World Football Phone-In, right? I think they made a great point. People were saying, well, it's not really the Glazers' fault. It's the English. It's the laws within English football. So it's the governing body caused it. And then
the Glazers weren't even. I totally hear your point, but the Glazers weren't even the worst example of it. The worst example of it was Man City before the fucking Emiratis got involved. Thaksin Shinawatra was the thing of the whatever the fuck he was, the president or the fucking high commissioner, whatever it was of Thailand. He literally robbed his country's money, bolted to fucking England and bought Man City. Like, it was so blatant. It was like, this guy has just stolen his own country's money, fucked off, and bought a fucking football club. And then the Emiratis bought him out. So he maybe paid 60 million for Man City. He ended up getting 600 million personally off the money that he stole off his own fucking country.
But then you look at Abramovich and all that. I mean, they were happy to take fucking dodgy money.
Yep.
Until Russia got involved in a war.
Yep.
And then it was like fucking we need to ban all the. I mean, England. I mean, London. The amount of corruption must go on there is unbelievable where money's concerned. But anyway, people were saying, right, so it's the governing body that caused Man United's demise. And Tim Vickery's like, well, how can you say that? He says, so is it the gun manufacturers that caused a murderer to go and fucking murder somebody? It's like, he didn't use that example, but basically, it's the people that commit the crime that's at fault, and it's the Glazers, and they still own Man United. And Man United, I think they're paying something like a £3 million fee on their loan. Is it per month? I think it's
I
3
wouldn't- I
million a
wouldn't.
month.
I wouldn't doubt it.
But they don't pay it. It comes from Manchester United.
Yeah, the club has it, absolutely.
And they take their dividends and they just
So,
keep taking their money.
so in fairness to Radcliffe, right? Radcliffe's bought them and he's went in. It's a bit like when.
Well, he's no bought them. He works for the Glazers.
Sorry, why? Well, he's inserted himself into the club, and I think he's actually looking, going, what the fuck's going on here? So, for example, Alex Ferguson is as guilty as fucking anybody because he bought into the Glazers, and they looked after him. They scratched his back, and he scratched fucking theirs. So he gets £1 million a year as an ambassador. He gets his own fucking suite, and he has his own office still, or did have his own office still at Old Trafford, and he gets the wine and dine cunts at every home game. And Radcliffe come in and went, "No, it is. They thought you'd be dead by now. This was only supposed to last for like 2 or 3 years till you fucked off. I'm hitting this in the fucking head." So, in the one sense, and the fucking ex players of United all went mental. Oh, this is terrible treatment to fucking Alex Ferguson. Blah blah blah. This man, and you're going, Alex Ferguson is the fucking reason the Glazers are here because he was so fucking greedy with his horse. He got into a row with two billionaires and got fucked. And that's how the Glazers ended up running Man United.
Is that JP McManus, wasn't it?
JP McManus and John Magner went, is that right? Yeah, we put fucking manners on you, can't you? That's exactly what happened. They had that row over the fucking Rock of Gibraltar, the horse, where Ferguson. So basically, they gifted Ferguson the horse. Said, "This is your horse, like a plaything."
I don't think you can blame Alex Ferguson for Glazers coming into Man United.
Oh, you can't, Jason.
I'm
Jason,
loving this conspiracy. I love it.
Jason, that it's not a conspiracy. That's exactly where it started. It started with the row over fucking Rock of Gibraltar. That go back and look. That is the genesis of the Glazers coming to Man United. Magner and McManus sold out to the Glazers. They brought them in. And that's where it happened.
Oh,
They
so
give
they basically opened the door in terms of selling shares.
correct. They say, well, they are fucking.
Did Magnus and McManus own Man United?
No, they were massive shareholders in Man United. The two of them.
Right, okay.
And what they said,
they shone the
what they
light
said-
right here. By the way, let these content.
no. What they did to Ferguson was they gave him that horse and said, "Here's a horse. It's like a plaything." You know what I mean? It's just something to fucking say you own a fucking racehorse. Ferguson didn't pay for fuck all. And when it came to the crunch over the stud rates of the horse, Ferguson went, "Oh, that's my horse now," and they went, "Is that your fucking horse? You dickhead, it's our horse. We get the stud rates on it." And Ferguson took him to court and they fucked him. And that is where this started. Everything that has happened from Man United since started with Alex Ferguson. And that's why Ferguson went so fucking meekly into the hands of the Glazers. He paved the way for him because he knew he'd been fucked. And they said to him, "Keep your mouth shut." And the Glazers said to him, "Keep your fucking mouth shut. Do what you're told. We'll give you a couple of pound a year. We'll give you your fucking suite up in the fucking gods. You can bring all your fucking dickhead mates in every week and let on that you are somebody. But you fuck with the wrong guys."
And at the core of all that is greed.
Joe,
Total
I think it's time for a disclaimer that the views of Marty are not the views of the rest of the homeboys. We've got no inside information.
I think
just listening.
As far as I'm concerned, this is an audiobook.
I think
Fictional.
I think if you spoke the most, like the likes of AFC United of Manchester and people like that, they'd be saying exactly the same fucking thing.
No, it
They
sounds
were
plausible.
sold down the fucking river by two billionaires who had enough. And Dermot Desmond's their mate.
Aye.
Dermot Desmond's their mate. Like Magner and McManus were always dictated. But definitely JP McManus owns shares in Celtic. John Magner, I'm not sure about. And JP McManus has bankrolled the Limerick hurling team. Like the Limerick hurling team would have been on a par with Antrim for fucking ever. No, I mean, like, I would never really have worried about Limerick if we'd have come up against them. The Limerick hurling team now are a fucking absolute fucking sheen. All Ireland's come out of their fucking noses. They're amazing. They're physically absolute beasts of fucking, like, unbelievably fit, and Magner and his wife have bankrolled all that. They've just said to them, leave your jobs, we'll pay for all your training, we'll pay all your subsidies,
What
blah,
a
blah, blah.
difference that must make, eh?
No, Jason, these guys, in the last decade, Limerick have been the fucking team to beat. And like shocking levels of fitness and, just men leaving their jobs, not a problem, and just devoting their. Hurling's supposed to be uh, an amateur sport. There's fuck all amateur about the Limerick setup, and it's from the McManus family. They have totally fucking bankrolled that county's hurling team. And Limerick is a big rugby county. It's
It is
uh,
huge. Aye.
Thomond Park, and like Munster rugby is in
Fucking
Limerick.
Glenstall Abbey is a fucking private school. It has a fucking massive
Yep,
rugby fucking tradition.
absolutely. And so for Limerick hurling was always the bridesmaid. It's fucking not anymore. They're a
Well,
powerhouse.
their neighbours Clare won the All Ireland last year.
Yeah, but and in any year now, Limerick going out's a fucking shock. You're like fucking hell,
Right.
Limerick are out. You know what I mean? Whereas before, you'd be Limerick's out. No, me Limerick. You know what I mean? Not anymore. They have totally professionalised the Limerick hurling thing, and when they win the All Ireland and all, they stand up the Crook Park and they give all the credit to the McManus family. They lick their balls. Oh, I'd like to thank JP and fucking his missus, whatever the fuck you call her.
There you go.
So they have
They'll never be seen. That's
no,
well.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They have untold wealth. Like these people aren't fucking cunts who are trying to diddle a tax man over fucking, couple of million. These people are fucking wealthy with a capital wealth.
By the way, I'm just laughing there. I've just looked at a chat there, Joe. Was that you?
Aye, it was me. Aye, I couldn't take any more of that shit.
Drumchapel's finest has been banned from, and their comments were removed.
I was going down some fucking weird fucking rabbit hole of fucking Russian conspiracy theories. I was like, you know what? Let's not have to do that shit.
Right, listen, I'm gonna go.
Now he's Facebooking me. Fuck it. It's time to wrap it up. Fuck.
I'm gonna go on because I want to watch the documentary about the Bradford Fire. It's just about to start on BBC Two.
You know what? When I did fucking fire warden training, that was part of the fucking
Same here,
part of
Joe.
the training.
Same here.
Oh.
I did my training with Chubb about 10 years ago or something, and that's what they started with. Sit down and let's watch how quick a fire spreads. 6 minutes. Fucking hell.
I learned shit about fire that day. I was like, I was not aware this is how fire moves.
Oh, by the way, see Firth Park's main stand still all good.
But isn't it was more about like I'll never forget this. The guy says to me, they used to just brush the rubbish into the stand, down through the stand there after every match. And the guy who did the training was saying that the rubbish underneath the stand was so compacted that they were fighting crisp packets from the 1950s. And he says there was a bar underneath the stand, and he says and the heat was so intense that the beer kegs melted. Like fucking scary fucking stuff. Do you know what I mean?
How quick it spread.
So you can have a wooden stand, but you can have a well-maintained wooden stand. You know what I mean, with like fire retardant paint on it and all that.
Goodison, the nice wee segue, but Goodison Park,
you better do a bit on Goodison here. Fucking hell.
The Woolens.
You better do a whole thing on it. Go ahead.
So basically, obviously, it's listening. I think everybody would know that this Sunday is the last ever game that Everton FC will play at Goodison Park. I know the women's team seemingly taking it on. I reckon that's a fucking joke, by the way. I reckon that's just so because there's a guy being banned for last week. I was at the Ipswich game. A guy's been banned. His season ticket took off him because he took in fucking like jackhammers and that to fucking remove his seat, and it's been caught. It's been caught on CCTV drills and all that to remove his seat, and he's been caught on CCTV and he's been banned for the last game. I don't know where he was going to sit, to be honest with you, because he was trying to take the seat off at the Ipswich game. But my mates were all going to be taking their seats, but Everton have told them you'll be banned for the new stadium if you remove your seats. But here's the thing, Everton have been selling on their website your seat for 90 quid, right? So you're allowed to buy your own seat, right, to take it home with you. They've been selling them, and now they're saying the women's team is going to be playing there. Anyway, so this is the last time as far as I'm concerned, Everton FC, the men's team, is going to play a home game at Goodison Park on Sunday. And oh my God, it's going to be emotional.
So,
so we're all going.
I never got. Like, it's one of the only, probably the only fucking round thing that I would ever had any interest in going to. To be honest.
Hell, mate, you should have. But aye, so as I say, I was doing the Ipswich game on the bus, on the Glasgow Toffees bus, and then we're all going down, me, Cookie, Jerry, Kazi, we Scots come down the bus, Magoo's going down the bus. Who is it? Me, Cookie, Jerry, Kazi, just the four of us, I think. Joe for Castlemilk as well was gone. So there's 4 or 5 of us going down in the train Saturday night for Central down to Liverpool. So we're obviously going to Celtic Park for the trophy day. There's actually a Scouser, Ants, is coming up for the Celtic game, and then he's coming back down the train. So we get the train down. We've got a house, ironically, in Anfield booked on booking.com. So we're staying right at Anfield. The ones run about Goodison were a bit fucking. They weren't enough. This is a 4-bedroom gaff, so we can all get in. So we've booked that, and we get down it live at Lime Street, I don't know, about 11 o'clock or something, Saturday night, and then it's going to be Sunday's just going to be fucking unbelievable. We're staying to the Monday, and and do you know what? I'm getting massive, like fucking. I went to my first ever game, 1988. Played Man United, October 1988. It was 1 each. We met Scousers in Ibiza in '88 and the end of July, and they came up. I think it was the St Patrick's Day massacre or whatever, and no, it wasn't. It wasn't. They were at that. I think that was the following year, and we beat them twice in a week. But we went down straight away. The first ever game I went to was at Anfield, and it was a 1 each draw. Ray Houghton scored, then Wayne Clark equalised with a penalty, and then Wayne Clark scored again with 5 minutes to go, disallowed. But so I've been going to watch Everton since '88, and been all over the country watching them. Been in fucking tons of games, well over 100. When the Rotten Aberdeen were 9 in a row, I was maybe at Goodison 10 times a season or whatever. And so just so many memories, and so it's got to be massively emotional. No, so much for me, but for all my mates that live there, and generations and generations has been going to Goodison Park, you know, and it's going to be a tough day, and all the boozers run about Goodison Park, the Brick, the Oak, the Winslow, the Sally, just all the pubs that's depended on Evertonians to keep these pubs alive, you know, and don't know how it's going to go for them. There's all going to be, their season tickets have been sold for next year to still drink in it, and they'll provide a bus that take you to the stadium and then bring you back. But I don't know how long that'll go for, you know, people start getting new routines, and, you know, I don't know. But it's going to be majorly emotional. And all the pubs are opening for like 8:30 on Sunday morning. I don't know how they're going to run about it, but the pubs are opening at 8:30, games at 12. And then after the game, I don't know, there's rumours who's fucking playing at it and whatever, but they're going to get fucking singers on the park and stuff like that. And you're allowed to buy bevy and bring it back to your seat, etc., you know, after the game. So they're going to keep everybody in for a couple of hours or whatever. So it'll be. And do you know what? Nearly every Evertonian that comes up to Celtic Park, I sort them out with tickets. So I didn't want to like badger folk for a ticket for it or anything like that, because and the thing is, I know proper Evertonians, right? Scousers, lifelong Evertonian. I'm a Celtic fan, right? But I love Everton, but I'm a Celtic fan. If Celtic play Everton in Europe, I want Celtic to win 10-0, right? So, but I do love Everton. And I know people that are flying in for Australia without tickets. A mate of mine's flying in for Thailand. He's not got a ticket. These are Scousers. These are proper Evertonians. I've got a ticket. And the thing is, I can't give them my ticket because
the ticket's due to somebody else if you don't take it.
my mates fucking through blood, sweat and tears, and I sort them out for every Celtic game. My mate Mick, Wigan Mick, he comes up 5-6 times a
good
season.
Mick.
Right? 5-6 times a season. He was up, him and Steve were up last week. So I sorted them out. And then I said to Mick, so what's happening? He just went into his wallet and just produced a season ticket and says, there you go. Free of charge. And I'm
Fucking
like,
hell.
yeah. And he tells him, he says, you're sitting next to my good mate. He says, he's the biggest fucking, everything's black, nothing's white. Fucking, he says, he's the biggest down of the world. He says, he'll destroy you. But I can't give that ticket away to one of the Scouse mates.
That's it, because the ticket
it's
belongs
for
to
me. And they've gave it to me. So if I was giving it to some random that they don't know, they would have 20 other folk that ticket was for. So I need to take that ticket in, which I'll feel terrible about because I'll be in the pubs before the game and I'll be with mates of mine that don't have tickets, who are lifelong Evertonians and who bleed blue.
I know, but you've been gifted this by Mick, who's a fucking genuinely great guy. I mean,
But Joe, you see my point here, right?
I see your point. I can see how you feel somewhat a wee bit unworthy.
Kind of don't see your point, to be honest, Jason, because
I can see how you feel a wee bit unworthy, right? But again, you've also demonstrated there a minute ago why you've been given this.
Yep, exactly.
No. Right, I understand why I've been given it, right? But the thing is, I don't support Everton. I love Everton.
But hold on a minute. But
don't fucking go there.
But hold on. No, hold on. It's a bit different, right? See if you just wanted to go for the football day out for the big occasion, just like you had no connection to Everton whatsoever, but it's a fucking big day, and you just want to say, "Well, I was there in the last Everton ever played at Goodison." Then you'd be a cunt.
But you've actually got a connection.
You've been following Everton for 30, 40 years, so what the fuck? Like, nobody.
You've got a lifelong connection, and therefore you deserve this.
I genuinely don't think any of your mates who are ticketless would begrudge you.
I reckon you're fishing for sympathy, you can't. That's what I think this is.
No. I know they won't. I know they won't. But I'll tell you what. I think there'll be trouble on Sunday because see any tourists getting into that. And there's Scousers outside that's not got a ticket and stuff like that.
I saw that thing.
How hard is it to go? All right, lads.
I saw the link to StubHub. Like, it's shocking.
Oh,
here. Listen, see that link you sent us? I just
so for the listeners, for the listeners who don't know what we're talking about, Jason shared a link to StubHub where tickets, the away end tickets are passing for £600. I took a quick squiz down. The average was about £900 to £1,000 per ticket, and I was like, Jesus
over £1,000, not like 1,150.
Oh fuck! I was shocking, like, and that's devastating. You know what I mean? You're like.
By the way, I'm no kidding, right? I wouldn't like to be a Sunderland, a Southampton fan there on Sunday.
But they don't give a fuck, Jason. So if they're putting, as you said, if they're putting their tickets up, what's it to them?
But the thing is, can you imagine, right? You imagine a Southampton fan walking to a game, going, putting his ticket up there, saying, "I'll take £300." He'll just get slapped, and the ticket will be took off. You know, and it's like it's actually got to the stage that I think Southampton buses will be pulling up there, and Scousers will just be running on, just grabbing their tickets off them, saying, "Fucking tease them." Like,
the purge is about to kick off and kill you.
It's bonkers. I mean, it's the last ever time you're going to be able to watch Everton.
Oh, you can watch Everton women.
Right, listen, I want to go and watch this. Right. It's for 20 minutes in. So
I'm saying I hit the fucking road. Folks, we'll talk to you next week. I know I said that 2 weeks ago, but we're going to fucking try and do it.
fucking try our best.
Hail. Hopefully get the chance next week and start fighting back against the Maniac. Talk to you there. Love you, folks. Adios.
Hail.
Iggy, bye.